Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. No Sam today. No Butler today. Just me and you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this, but times are tough.
Yep.
And we're trimming the fat.
And you'll probably only hear us for how long until this is the gliding part where you run out of gas on the plane. You can go far.
God, this is the part where I just want to put my headphones on and run out the door.
Oh, yeah,
No, they're fine. They're just not here today. We're not firing anybody. Times are tough, but not for us. We're rich.
Yeah.
More money than we've ever had.
I
I don't even know what to do with this.
Yeah. That's we deserve it because
I think so.
We've said this before, but
We're the funniest people in the world.
Yeah. There's that. Then
We're the most deserving people in the world.
that's true.
With
too.
the best ideas.
Yeah. Nicest, kindest.
Kind of the nicest.
Yeah. Okay.
How about that? I just go.
Yeah, I like that better.
Okay, we got to do this thing, or Sam will get mad because she is still employed here, and she's been emailing and texting. Who knew that she runs the show just as good or better than she even being here?
She's like, here's the number, here's the thing.
Text, and then she's like, are you doing it? I'm watching, and I know she's watching. So here, we'll just do this thing.
Jock! Nerds! Jock! Nerds!
Don't watch.
Jock! Nerds!
Jock, nerd.
Jock!
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. Let me plug this real quick. We got a bunch of new merch on tomanddan.com. We got a kind of an ACT whiskey glass on there. We got a new straw hat. We've got, what else we got in there? We got the
face mask.
Pabone, face masks, Pabone sticker pack.
Yeah, the face masks are legitimate. I got a couple emails from people that agree with me. They are legitimately the nicest and most comfortable mask I think you'll buy.
I've acquired quite a few because of people giving them to me and all, and ours are my go-to now because they're the most comfortable. They're also not too tight. If they're too tight on your face, I have a hard time talking through them.
Well, if they're too tight on my face, I feel like I get a camel toe with my mask.
Yeah.
And I think it's off-putting to see anyone's lips. Like, I don't like seeing people's lips.
Yeah, EJ,
Yes.
were you as surprised as I was that all the real men NFL coaches are seemingly pretty fine with it? Now, who knows what they say?
They put out another memo. They're going to start fining people because people weren't doing it.
On the games, all the games I watch, all the coaches,
No.
which by the way,
They
Head
weren't.
Coaches, yes, but the assistant coaches, a lot of them were.
The
were
main
like
guys-
iffy.
Okay,
50-50.
well, let me ask you this: why do they even need to wear them? They all tested to get on the field like multiple times.
I don't know.
So why is
Yeah,
it?
but you don't know what you came in contact in between the time you were tested and game time. It's not like you get the results right away, too.
Like Dan
So
Quinn?
it's better safe than sorry. It's $1 million franchise. Why put that at risk for any reason?
Well, Dan Quinn had his on, but EJ's right. Like, I saw assistant coaches and people running around that didn't have it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's you're trying to run a football team. It's and you're not used to it. It's not I don't fault them for it. I understand you're all trying to be overly safe, but I was like, wonder why they make them wear it on the sidelines if everybody's
I think
tested.
even the players should have to wear them.
No, that's ridiculous.
I want everyone wearing them.
It's, also.
But look, they're in the bubble. If you're going to do the sports, I say just do the sports. I agree with you. I don't think the coaches should have to wear it, but I guess the NFL says different because maybe, I don't know, they're screaming.
Also, I was surprised that no one tested positive in the NFL and, had to sit out or whatever. Like,
Do you believe that, though?
We got, as far as we got through week one and.
But did we?
What do you
Do
mean?
you believe that it's possible that with as many players, moving parts, and no actual lockdown bubble like we've seen in other sports, that these guys were able to get through week one without one single case? Or do you believe that maybe they did and you just didn't hear about it?
Well, we would have heard they wouldn't have played.
No, I know, but I'm just or they lied.
I have a hard time believing they'd be able to keep that under wraps, because if there's a third-party testing facility and they got positive results, and that third-party testing facility reported it, especially because these are celebrities, like the names, so they report the results, and if the NFL kept it quiet, someone would be a whistleblower. You know what I'm saying? Like someone would be like, hey, Pat Mahomes got tested positive and he was playing. Like there's too many leaks in the system, and if the NFL ever got caught trying to hide test results,
they've never had the integrity of their,
no, I know. I wasn't
called into question. It's not like them to ever hide women getting punched.
Listen, I hear you.
Of course they would. I'm with you. I think you're right. I don't think they would ever hide it.
I totally understand. In the NFL has been known for keeping abuse under wraps, and I mean. Jesus, there's been murders and
it's not good.
We all know that how
not as bad as FIFA, but not good.
They'll turn the other cheek and look away if they think that it's gonna help them in some way. It's all about the money, but I just think that there would be too much at stake if they ever got caught hiding coronavirus results. But
maybe by the time it gets found out, maybe they're banking on COVID and coronavirus and vaccines being in play, and that maybe they think that they can hide it just long enough to make it not so bad that they hit it.
No, because they would be the lawsuits.
Then how are we okay with the other things they hide?
What? Oh, well, then listen. Well, the world's.
No, I'm just saying we're pick and choose. People could say we don't care as much anymore. No big deal. No harm, no foul. So
yeah. It's.
I think it will. I just think it's relatively, with as many people as we know that have either had it or come in contact with somebody that's had it, I think it's damn near impossible for them to do what they're doing with as many people and as many coaches and players and not have one.
Well, did you watch?
I think it's weird.
Did you watch Hard Knocks?
I didn't.
If you saw what they were doing at Hard Knocks, they put a lot of money into. They all have these wrist receivers, are basically like Fitbits style things that track whoever they're in contact with, who also has those. So basically, everybody in the organization has one. And so if someone does test positive, they can immediately go to that person's, I'm just calling it a Fitbit.
Yeah, contact tracing.
Contact tracing, yeah. And then they'll see, okay, you were within 6 feet of all these people. We'll contact, so they put some money into it, obviously,
all of that's good and well. I'm just calling into question their ethics. So that's all I would say.
They have no ethics.
You're right. So I just think
if it comes to money, they're going to do what they need to do.
Yeah, I think that we will find out later. That's just my guess. I don't know any proof behind it. Don't know anything. I'm just saying later we will find out that they hid some cases.
Yeah. I think it's more monetarily advantageous for them to be on the up and up on this one, because they just need to play the games. That's where the money is. If some star player or whatever has to sit out, that's fine. They don't care about the teams individually win or loss records. They just need the damn product on the air so they can sell commercials.
So what'd you think, EJ? Do you like having football back?
Oh, yeah. It made my weekend. This was a good weekend for me. Watching football was the best. The first story I have is, did you see the Josh Rosen sitting in the stands versus Tampa and the Saints because he got picked up by Tampa, and he's so sad?
I didn't see that.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, man. So he got cut by the Dolphins because they picked up Tua, and he got picked up by Tampa last week, and he's on the practice squad, and he's sitting in the stands in New Orleans, and he's just sad. It's so sad. There's memes of it like crazy now.
EJ.
I'm enjoying the Winston meme. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
EJ,
he's playing chess.
Let me ask you something about the Rosens of the world, because this happens every once in a while. He was the number 1 overall pick when Arizona got him, and is it possible for a player that if he was given a different situation from the start, that his entire career could be different?
You see a glimmer of that with Tannehill, do you not?
Yeah, exactly.
And that guy, he's a different human being.
So if Josh Rosen, obviously the guy is talented, and the guy is a talented player and athlete. to get picked number 1 overall and everything. And he goes to an Arizona team. The team had a horrible offensive line. Like, just the situation was bad. And at this level, like, sometimes it's luck. There's a little bit of luck involved. Like, someone drops a pass, someone gets intercepted.
Yeah.
Like, things happen that could be unlucky. Have nothing to do with your talent or whatever. And then you traded to another team because situationally it was better for Arizona. Like, they got Kyler Murray. And then you get to a Dolphins team. And then all of a sudden, now you're a backup quarterback and you may
Did EJ just fall out of his chair? Is he dead?
Uh-oh, did he? Oh,
I
his
think
boss.
he fell out of his chair. Or maybe you blew him out of his chair with your football knowledge.
No, his boss.
He's getting yelled.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. You got busted. I'll stop playing radio.
Sorry about that. I told you. I knew it was going to happen. It never fails.
Well, what do you have to do? I just heard you say, thank you, sir.
I have to set up their Zoom meeting, and that's what's going on.
Well, you click 2 buttons.
I'm not even
I'm
going
going to get you fired. You go in there and you tell them, I'm not doing this anymore. I've had it.
But what Tom was saying about the quarterback situation, I believe in system quarterbacks. Look at Tom Brady playing for Tampa. It's a different system. He's not as good. And if you put Kyle Murray or like Rosen, if you put him on a team that has a good system and has people that are doing the right things, he probably would look spectacular. But sometimes you just put in bad scenarios where you don't have a running back or his running back's on his last legs and you have no offensive line. I don't know. Let's see what happens with Joe Burrows in Cincinnati.
What a fall from grace, too, if, like, number 1 overall pick, and now you're sitting in the stands sad. And you're probably, he's never going to get another chance to start. Like, no way, right? There's too many good quarterbacks coming in.
Because time marches on pretty fast, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the one thing you have. Like,
you had your chance, and
they're not
that's
going to
it.
have time to whip you into shape.
No.
That's why those windows are fleeting.
Well, not only that, you're already tainted. And so it's kind of like, you're already labeled and typecast as the guy that didn't work out. So it's like, that's it. And maybe you are able to have listen, even a backup quarterback in the NFL, that's a good career. If you can sustain.
I would hold a clipboard for league minimum for sure.
Yeah. And, so it's not like, I don't feel that bad for him. Like, he'll have a career and maybe he can go into like quarterback coaching for a team, or like our practice squad, something. He was a number 1 overall draft pick. So like, you'll be able to do something football related and make money.
Yeah.
Good money, more than a doctor. So you're fine.
But this happens a lot, right? Like with players.
But
like this. But you don't. But it's because it's the singular position too, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think you have to analyze it like that because, like, let's say you've got a lineman who's just like, he's got, how would you put it? Like, he's got the size and the strength, but maybe he's just not as good at but he's going to be able to navigate that wave a little better than being the singular marquee.
Decision making, arm strength.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff is what you need as a quarterback.
Sometimes I wonder if a lot of these guys just can't hack it mentally because it's all connected.
Yeah. I mean,
the mental aspect of being a quarterback is the scary part to me. Not that
it's a quantum leap of reading a defense from college to pro. Like, cover 2, everyone is running in college. You can read that easily, but then they start running cover 0, cover 3, cover 1.
But EJ,
Joker in the middle.
You're killing it because, and you're exactly right. Because the reason I know that is because I try to do that now, trying to play Madden better, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do what these guys have to do, and I don't think I'm an idiot, but that's hard. I'm way bad at it, like really, really bad at it.
Well, then there's confidence,
and that's a video game, not a real human.
Yeah.
Deal.
And here's the thing. Then if you get it put on a team with a bad offensive line or no running game or no quality receivers, then you're screwed anyway. Like, you put the.
You got Mike Evans taking plays off like that. That hurts Tom Brady. That's why he looked bad this week. And he was getting fights with defensive backs during the game. So that's the kind of scenarios you might have to put up with, and it hurts you as a quarterback.
Well, are you going to talk about that, the old Tom Brady Tampa situation?
Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about that, yeah. So, you have to like I said, I even put it on Facebook after he threw the second interception. Tom Brady is a system quarterback. Like because he was for the Patriots, he had a system set in. There was a culture at New England that he was used to, and it's totally different in Tampa.
Yeah.
It's there are people taking plays off. You could see it on the field. It's like you stopped your route, and that's why you threw the interception.
Yeah. He's on a less disciplined team. You're right. It's the he's used to the Belichick way, which is no effing around at all ever. It's all business.
Mistakes. Yeah. No mental errors.
And then now you get this undisciplined Tampa team that is constantly jumping off sides and committing stupid penalties, and he's not used to that.
And Gronk is like 3 steps slower than he's ever been. He looks like I'm playing out there.
Yeah,
and Gronk is now.
And it's not like Tom Brady.
And that's bad.
Yeah, Tom Brady is playing as good as he did last year. It's not about his diminished quality.
He's an amazing quarterback.
Although he can't
the GOAT.
He can't get out of his own way, and he's not going to ever escape the pocket. You can't do that nowadays. And a lot of people talk about like you just need a mobile quarterback to be able to extend plays, and without that, you're limiting yourself and your offense.
I'm just trying to reserve the laughter, to steal from my good friend Jim Colbert, because I'm just not going to say anything about it because I want to see it shake out a little bit more. Because
there's only week 1.
Even in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, I can just feel all of the Tampa energy and all the people that love the Buccaneers and the people that love Brady wanting and hoping so bad that they want this to succeed. So as an Atlanta Falcons fan, I have to pull back and just kind of I just want to let it fall into the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say a word about it. I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to let it.
Yeah, I'm not going to rub your nose in it.
No, it's like how the doctor says you're supposed to take a bowel movement. You're not supposed to push.
Yeah.
Get over the toilet and just gently let it fall into the water.
And then I'll collect all the money that I bet all the Tampa Bay fans on the season win totals. I think our buddy Freddie, I bet him $100.
I was watching a lot of this.
Well, the Falcons are tied with Tampa in the division right now for second place. So
I bet someone right now that Tampa doesn't make the playoffs.
Well, I know we're not. I know Atlanta's not. No, you're a garbage team.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
You looked okay. I think Seattle's a better team than you think. So I think that Atlanta keeping it close, and your kicker is pretty good. Koo, I think his name is.
Yeah, he's
good.
The
onside kick he kicked at the end of the game was amazing.
Yeah, I just want a Atlanta Falcons jersey that says "Koo" on the back because I think that's kind of cool. What else you got?
Let's go to old timey baseball. Remember, I've been doing these stories. I have a story about Ty Cobb and how he beat up a fan in the stands, and then while he's beating him up, finds out that he has no hands, and he's beat up, and the guy's like, "No, don't hit him. He has no hands." He goes, "I don't care if he has no feet. You should have said what he said." And in today's day, there's no fans in the stands, so there's no more heckling, which is kind of weird.
I think I've heard this before, but Ty Cobb heard someone in the stands insult him.
Well, he said a word that I can't say. He called him a half N-word, and that set Ty Cobb off, and said that his mother was having sex with black guys, and that's what set him off. So I don't know if it's because he's racist that he fought this guy,
that's just
or
not
racist.
That's just a bad time.
Yeah.
You're in the stands.
This is 1912.
You're yelling those words. You're fighting a man with no hands. It's a bad time.
In one way, it's good because you're beating up a guy that used the N-word. But in another way, it's bad because you were so mad he called you an N-word, you turned to violence.
Exactly.
So
it's a bad scenario all around. But it's an interesting story because it's like real man stuff.
My grandfather used to say, "Never let a man with no hands call you a half N-word."
What?
No, he never said that.
So did he just walk over and then, because there's a wall, did he climb into the stands?
No, those fat old men.
Yes, it was like a Ron Artest scenario where he climbed into the stands.
No, those fat old men. You're telling me Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb could climb a baseball wall? Fake news.
Well, Ty Cobb wasn't fat like Babe Ruth. Ty Cobb was like a skinny guy.
No, but they're all old men. Like when they were at their peak, they were like, what, 51 years old?
Well, he used to sharpen his cleats to cleat people. Ty Cobb was not a good dude.
No,
he was not a nice guy.
He was a bad person.
So when he was punching this guy, did he have the guy guy just have no hands, like just wrist stubs?
An industrial accident. He was missing one hand completely, and he was missing fingers on the other hand. So it was like the one guy
No,
he used to
that
shake
doesn't-
hands with all the time.
That doesn't
with
count.
Tom.
I want
So,
two nubs
like that
like
guy.
Mr.
Yeah.
Krabs from
That's
SpongeBob.
Yeah, that's no hands. Now
this
he's
guy had a hand.
He's got 1.5, or he's got a half hand.
Yeah.
Half hand.
yeah.
He's got half a hand.
Also, the guy, even with a nub, you could. I mean,
I think it'd be
jazz-
easier.
punch,
I
I
think
think.
it's easier to
you can
punch with
punch
a
it,
nub.
yeah.
I feel like if you cut my
You don't
hands off,
just put your hands and you're like, I can't even.
No,
you
but
can nub them.
if you cut my hands off right now, like okay, in a RoboCop scenario,
Yeah.
if I get injured and they cut my hands off, and then I come back and you're like, we have a couple choices, we can give you like fake hands, or we'll just leave your hands off and put metal tips and make you a punching machine, the smallest
Yes.
punching machine in the world.
Yes.
And I'd be like, well, I'll take the metal.
Yeah.
I'll put the thimbles on there.
Yeah. But
And then I'm a punch it like it'd be because I'm punching with the bone. There's no flexibility in the wrist. I feel like it's better for punching.
And then I'm trying to text my wife, and I'm like, God damn, I should have put a stylus at the end.
Yeah, stylus is
A
good.
stylus on your hand.
Yeah, like just put a little.
Can somebody come take these thimbles off my wrists, my nubs? I was punching, and now I need to text my wife. I lost the fight.
How'd you guys do in fantasy this weekend?
I won. I think I got high score. I was just checking that, dude. I think I just got high score.
God damn.
156.7.
Did you have Juju Schuster last night?
Yeah, 150. No, I just needed Derrick Henry to score under 22 points, right? And I was watching the first. And by the way, I hate the second late Monday night game.
Too late.
Started
Yeah.
at 10. So we went to halftime by midnight. And
They should start it at the halftime of the other game.
So I stayed up, and it was super low scoring, and Derrick Henry had like 9 points, and I was like, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I'm going to go to sleep. I think I won this. He's going to have to score. And then I woke up, and he scored 23 points, and I was like, no! I lost by 1 point, and I had Clyde Edwards-Helaire from Kansas City, that rookie
He did
quarterback
pretty well.
running back. Oh yeah, he scored me 25 points, and that was on Thursday. So I thought I was a shoo-in to win. And stupid old Derrick Henry, and the and that horrible Denver Titans game that was just a miserable mess.
Yeah, it was-
just slow. Ugh.
Yeah, some of the games are hit or miss. You know, like some of them you could see the sloppiness, and some of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
Then you got Seattle just cutting us up. What else you got, EJ?
Well, can we take a break for like a couple minutes? Because I got to do that thing real fast, and then I can come back and do nerd. Is that cool?
No, we cannot take a break.
How dare you?
So
you don't dictate.
Put John on.
Yeah, well, have John do.
John's not here. He's out. That's why it's a
Leave your
mess
notes
today.
and have John read them to me, or the girl that buys you pizza that you're cheating on your wife with.
No, she left the next day. Like she bought us pizza and then like she quit the next day.
The weird.
Hostile work environment. You
Hold
got-
on.
This man makes me buy him a pizza.
Who buys their coworkers pizza and then?
I changed her tire on her car. That's why she bought us pizza.
No, okay.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
but
I
you
know
were
what
gonna
that
quit,
means.
so you had the perfect opportunity to like just leave and never.
Yeah. F you and your pizza.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put the girl's business out there.
All right.
right.
Go do your thing, and then
all right.
Give me
we'll
like
come
5
back.
minutes. I'll be right
Okay,
back.
we'll take a quick break and bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer, not here today. Butler's in the other room, but on the line with us right now, live via Skype, is our good friend EJ. We're smack dab in the middle of Nerd Jock. And you can join us and watch the show on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. Watch the replays on YouTube.
Yes, please.
So, EJ, during the break, we were just talking about, people talking, and Jacksonville beat Indianapolis, and it was a big surprise. Everybody, like, in the sports world was talking about that Jacksonville was kind of along the same lines as Miami last year, and
Right.
people are like, they're going to tank this year, they're going to lose for draft picks, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
They're fielding a team. And then so all of a sudden, they beat Indianapolis, and like I'm sure lost a lot of people money on parlays.
Oh yeah.
They blew up like 5 of my parlays that I would have won if Indianapolis just would have won. I had
got
a
to
money
actually
line.
watch that live at his house. It's pretty neat.
And but anyway, but I think the
Did
misconception.
he punch the refrigerator?
No, he's not allowed to do do that anymore. And he has a whole outside paradise of stuff to punch. Like he's got a swing set and a fence.
I don't get mad
he has a
anymore if
fence.
I
He's a
lose.
lot better than I am.
He's got beautiful plants he can go and chop and kick if he wants to.
It's
Does he punch the water? in the
No, he
pool?
doesn't punch anything. He just kind of sits there defeated and sad.
when people talk about a team tanking or losing for draft picks, I think they are thinking that the actual players are
like,
playing
"Whoops,
worse.
drop the ball."
Yeah,
It's not
that's
like that,
yeah.
no.
It's the organization. The players are playing for their jobs. They're playing for contracts. They need to. This
Sure.
is their livelihood. They're playing 100%. And they want to win, and the coaches want to win. It's just the tools they're given may not be up to par
Right.
to compete
Yeah.
with the other teams. Therefore,
The general managers are probably not making the picks that they need to do, or the moves, like trying to pick up trades or draft people that they would make improvements to
Who knows?
put the puzzle
It-
together.
And
It's
they're-
not my world, but yeah.
and they're getting rid of like Leonard Fournette, and they're getting rid of players just like the Dolphins did. So it's like oh, okay, you're fielding a team that's not competitive as
Right.
competitive as the rest of the league.
Yeah.
But you
There's
still
cap space you got to worry about that in the future. You're like, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to contract negotiations, and that's some of the reason why they signed a tank. They want to have a bad year so they can afford these good players later, and maybe in 3 years go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because now they all know the system. You want to get rookies on rookie contracts, and then during that rookie contract year, then that's when you stack your team and try to go for a Super Bowl run. And so all these teams just learn, okay, this is the way that you have to do it, and then they all start just copying each other. Anyway, let's go to
you want to jump
nerd.
into some nerd?
Let's go to nerd.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's nerd it up a little bit.
What should we start off with? Let's talk about a horror movie. I saw a preview for one that I'm really interested in, and I know you guys like these kind of scenarios. It's called Freaky, and it's like Freaky Friday, but instead the victim and a serial killer switch bodies, and Vince Vaughn is the main character in it.
All right.
So basically, he basically switches the body with a little girl. So Vince Vaughn is acting like a high school senior, and the serial killer is in this little girl's body, and she's killing people that are her friends and stuff like that.
all right.
Well, okay, so Vince Vaughn is a serial killer,
Yes,
And
he's I can't remember. It's something the Strangler or the Stabber.
and
or
he
something
does
like that.
look, and he's big. So
Yeah.
he's-
He's a perfect serial killer type. Well, he played Psycho. He was Norman Bates in the Psycho
That's
remake.
right. That's right. So his brain or whatever essence
Yeah.
is in a teen. Is it like a hot teen girl?
Yes, it's a hot teen girl. I can't think of her name. She's in other stuff, and I can't think of her name right now, and it's driving me crazy. And I forgot to write it down.
And
and then
This would
she.
be Sam's
So
part.
where's his body?
His body, like she's occupying his body, and he's occupying her body.
that's the old switching
That they
brains.
peed in the same fountain.
Yeah.
No, it's like where is he? Is he in jail?
Oh, Catherine Newton is the girl's name.
No, he's still like the serial killer's out there killing, and now has the brain
As the little girl, as the girl killing people.
Yeah. So
Like,
what's
she's
she
putting
doing as
people,
Vince
stabbing people.
Vaughn?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
my
yeah.
point. That's the movie. Is
Well-
she playing Xbox? Is she working at Amscot?
Well, she
Well,
would.
she's trying to save the kids, her friends. Her friends are in danger.
As a big man.
Oh, because
Yeah.
the teen
Ooh.
now has.
Oh, she was in Detective Pikachu. She's the chick that's the reporter from Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah, I
I'll
saw
cut
that
that
movie.
out. I'll cut that
I actually saw Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, I
My
know you
sons
did.
loved it.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds is fantastic in it.
Now, Vince Vaughn is now going to act like a teen girl.
Yes.
Which
Well, no,
makes me
he's
a little-
not. The girl is going to act like Vince Vaughn acting like a teen girl.
No, hold on. What?
He will never act like a
He's
teen
going to method act for sure. He's
Girl,
going to start dressing with
but-
pigtails and everything.
Okay, no, he
Yeah,
will because
yeah.
he's okay. You're right.
Because now but do they? Okay, hold on. God damn it.
No, I'm trying to figure this out too.
Well,
I'm with you.
how are
I
they
think
gonna-
you and I have a moment where we both equally hate the idea of this movie now.
So are they?
I thought you guys love body swapping, like peeing in the fountain.
Normally
together,
we
switch
do,
bodies.
but I don't know about this one. The jury's out.
So Vince Vaughn is gonna act like he's got the brain of a
Of a-
teen girl trying
right.
to save, and then
her friends, like she has to convince her friends that it's her in that guy's body. to
Guys,
protect
it's
him.
me,
But at
it's
the same time, the
Jessica.
girl is tricking everyone because she's acting like a little girl, but she's really the serial
Okay.
killer to kill the friends that she knows.
If you're really
All right.
Jessica, big man, do our favorite TikTok dance.
They do it. She does a cheer in the preview to prove that
and
it's
he's
her.
like, goom, goom, gats, and
And he nails it. Yeah, it's basically old school where he's
So-
like the tiger.
So wait a minute.
Going through the
So
flaming hoop.
I've seen nothing of this movie, and I just nailed the trailer. That's how non-creative this is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's how stupid
Well,
this is.
it's a formulaic movie, but there's a little bit of twist because there's a serial killer instead of a normal.
Oh my
person.
God, Christine in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TommyDayLive. She's like, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
nailed it. Dumb movie. I give this movie
Well, dude, it's all you have.
2 stars.
It's all about lowest common denominator.
That's what our whole show's about.
The man, you know,
That's what the segment's about.
when I got a digital receiver and Daniel saw me trying to set it up right before
Good.
the NFL started.
I did see your wife come out and go, is that something that he bought? Is that the Chinese piece of junk he bought that won't work? And I was like, well, he's trying to fix it up.
So as I'm going through normal TV, which I don't normally do or have, I saw that there's another, like Daniel talked about it, another singing show. And then
Oh,
the
yeah.
judgmental
like,
one.
Yeah. I was like, another.
Where can they sing or not, and they're just like football players, and they're just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah.
nerds.
It's like-
It's all about like creating.
Jeong is the host of
it's
it, of
your
course.
inner judgmentalism. It's being horribly judgy.
And then I looked at it, I was like, what? I was like, so this still exists? Like you go up there and you sing and people, the judges are like, how long is that equation?
No, this is a
They're
new
gonna keep doing
version.
it.
This is where you just look at the person and then you bet.
20 years and society's not done with this garbage?
Yeah,
and then
I know.
I was like, oh yeah, everybody's dumb. So that's
Well, the
what they
only
like.
shows that were on TV for a while are sing show, dance show. That's it.
Yeah.
And football.
Because they're so cheap to make, and you get a bunch of people watching it, and you sell a bunch of advertising for
Yeah,
it. That's
true.
why.
It's just
It's so easy and it's so cheap.
I'm kind of done with Kim Jong.
Yeah.
I'm kind
His
of
movie that he did on Netflix was not bad, but it was not great.
I'm
either.
done with him. I'm done with Jenny McCarthy. I'm done with Nick Cannon.
they still let Jenny McCarthy be on things.
Yeah, she's on the.
Oh yeah, she's on Masked Singer. Like they
Yeah,
kept
yeah.
going with that.
It's weird,
There's another
man.
season coming up. You
Yeah.
didn't see it during football? They did like 18 commercials every
And
segment.
now they
You
now on
have,
Masked
you
Singer.
have contributed to people dying.
Now they do Masked
Yeah.
Singer and like they do duets. So one of them is 2 beautiful like Harry Potter owls singing.
Why don't they attack Jenny McCarthy more? Like, of all the people that we attack in society, no one attacks.
Yeah, she should be canceled for killing people.
Like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
Not
maybe
getting
too
vaccines.
maybe too easy to attack.
Yeah, like you got some actor that and like let's say Al Franken, right?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Alf.
He pretends to.
He ate cats.
And I was like, yes, Alf.
It wasn't Al Franken that pretended to honk the girl's boobs.
Yeah, and he was a senator and he got in trouble.
Yeah.
and then-
So he resigned. Al Franken had to go into hiding, and Jenny McCarthy's on The Masked Singer. She kills
No,
people.
no, it's not The Masked Singer. It's one of the biggest television shows on the planet.
She told everybody that don't get your kids vaccinated, and people listened.
Oh, voice of reason from the chat room. Samantha's in there. Hey, Sam, we miss you. Sam says, guys, she said she was sorry. Sam's
Oh, that
right.
fixed
I miss you,
everything.
Sam.
Yeah.
Hold on. Spotlight on Sam's camera. There it is. I'll put it on there. Good job, Sam.
But
Pizza party.
there's kids with polio. A kid
My
died.
dad, who's dead, had polio.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
my God.
I'm sorry to
Oh,
bring
why
up
would
polio.
you say that? I told you
I'm
never
sorry.
to bring up
I'm
polio.
sorry.
Have you ever noticed that there's no polo in the sports segment?
Yeah, you're right. I apologize.
What else you
my
got?
dad, he had one leg that worked and not another one, and he's dead.
Oh,
now.
my God.
It's Jenny McCarthy's fault.
Did your dad have a rubber leg?
No, he had both of his legs he had, but one was like smaller than the other, and it didn't have any like nerve endings and stuff like that.
Oh, a
so
leg
he
for
couldn't
nothing.
use it, and he had like a brace.
Yeah.
And I would tell people they got bit by a shark, so it would be cooler than polio.
I think that's going to happen to me eventually. I think I'm going to have leg for nothings. Like, they're going to be there, but they're just...
No, yeah.
They're like show legs.
Dangling, yeah.
I,
Someone's gonna pick
I
you
can
up and shake you
feel
around a
it.
little bit.
Like, I can feel it. Like, I was riding the Peloton this morning, and I was like, these things are not working right. Like, something's wrong.
Oh, yeah, they're skinny
Yeah,
too.
they're all...
Oh, yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
I can't feel anything in them.
Yeah. Your ankles are as big as your thighs.
Whoa, it's straight down.
Yeah.
Straight
well,
down.
well, speaking of legs that don't work, have you guys seen the new PC chair called the Scorpion? that's like
Have
30
I?
grand.
We're
that
buying.
like folds over and the screen comes in front of you and
Yeah.
like one of those bendy screens.
We're buying one for the studio.
I want one. If I get a sponsorship, I would definitely take one.
Okay.
It's better than my rocker. That'd be the only thing I'd love other than the rocker.
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw this on Facebook, and are you guys like me? I don't like the screen that close to
No,
my face.
I don't either.
Which sounds ridiculous because I hold my cell phone that close and I look at it all
Actually,
the
you
time.
hold it away so you can see it.
But I don't like when the screen's like eye level but close.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need it a little bit of a distance, and so it's off-putting to me that the screen's too
Yeah, I
close.
don't want
No, it's perfect for Call of Duty. Like especially if you're sniping someone, you need to see that distance. You want it closer.
Well, I don't play video games, and maybe that's probably why I don't.
That's what it
I don't
is.
know.
Yeah.
So I
Get your kids into video games.
Oh, they're
I
gonna
mean,
be
no
in
matter
there.
what, it has to happen. You
Yeah,
know, like,
yeah.
like even Maisie's playing, and it's not even her favorite thing.
I'll play.
Is she playing
yeah.
Animal Crossing still? Dan?
She dabbles in it, but her attention span actually wanes. Right now, Animal Crossing has been pushed to the side for dance. She's doing tap dancing. So tap dancing.
Oh, my wife is that every Thursday she does tap dancing.
Oh, no way. That's cool. Yeah.
I leave work early so she can go do tap dancing. That's her like get out of the house away from the kids.
You
thing.
should do that with her.
Okay.
No, I have no rhythm at all.
I 100%
Only the rhythm method.
support and
I
encourage
got Dan to laugh. That's all that matters.
kids. Extra activities and
The
tap dance.
extracurricular
And
garbage, yeah.
I think that's healthy. and
It's all
smart.
garbage.
Uh,
It just gives me more time to be away from my child, which is nice.
And in no way would I ever, tell Maisie that tap dancing and my feelings toward tap dancing.
I know your feelings toward that. I
Here we
can
go.
see them right
No
now.
fun, Tom.
I am going to talk about tap dancing, so I don't
All
want
right.
to offend
No,
anybody.
you're not going to offend me or anyone. No.
But
My wife is gonna fight you, Tom.
every time I see
I'm gonna
someone,
hold you down and let her punch you.
tap dancing is the hardest, most unentertaining thing in the world.
no, it's entertaining.
It's
It's drumming. It's drumming with your toes.
No, drumming is entertaining. I'm saying it's the hardest looking thing that I've ever I'm seeing someone do it. Looks extremely hard. I respect how hard it is. It doesn't entertain me whatsoever.
Oh, I love the rhythm. that
Gene
they-
Kelly's ghost is gonna come back and slap you, dude.
When I see someone like a good tap dancer, and they're doing tap dancing, I'm like, this is
And
not
when they
good.
do that move where they go like, ha!
I'm like,
Ball shuffle chain. Come
there's
on.
nothing entertaining about
Oh, I
this.
love it.
It looks stupid.
Even as a kid,
what
I
are
think,
you doing?
honestly, I think that's where you and I are completely different because that's a 180. Because I think the reason I
you
like
love Lawrence Welk. Yeah, you're like
is
tap
because,
dancing.
man, I love watching.
Lawrence Welk is always
Look
good.
at him go.
Yeah.
And I like it when they put the sand down and they go in and the Savion Glover,
I just
Gregory Hines.
it doesn't move the needle at all for me.
Oh, I'm playing this segment for my wife, and she's gonna fight you, dude. For real.
And it takes like
sorry.
it takes like a lot of athletic ability to be able to do that. It's extremely
yeah.
technical.
I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm not saying it's not. It doesn't take an insane amount of talent. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying it's not entertaining to me.
Yeah, but you're no
or-
fun, Tom. So consider the source.
I mean, you
I'm
listen
the-
to
I
gambling
bet-
podcasts is entertaining to you. So I mean, like,
I
so
bet-
on one hand you have the gambling podcast with the fantasy
I
footballers,
know.
or you have
I know.
Savion Glover performing on a dance that he actually wrote and choreographed.
I'm just
Which
saying,
is more entertaining?
I
Fat
bet-
guys talking about football or Savion Glover?
I just know I have the bravery to tell everybody my true opinion, and there's other closeted.
You know what? You are being very brave.
There's
right
other
now.
closeted anti-tap dancing
Thank
people
you
out
for
there.
being brave.
I know
You're
that
a hero.
There's a lot of people that are like, Tom speaking for me. I hate tap dancing too. I know that there's a lot, but they're too afraid to say it, and that's where I step in because I'm not afraid.
I'll take it from there.
So you're a hero. Okay, we'll give you that.
I am a hero.
Where's your bronze
He's
star?
also a first responder. Like he was the first person I've heard say they hate tap dancing.
I'm not afraid to say it.
What else you got, AJ?
Okay, the next story. We're definitely going to talk about Ant-Man 3. They picked the villain for it.
We're not done with Ant-Man?
No, Ant-Man 3. Kang the Conqueror is going to be the bad guy. And the guy from, what's that new show?
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors is
Can't we just run out of superheroes?
And he's the one from oh, crap. I'm having a hard time right now. It's that new show on HBO.
I hate superheroes more than tap dancing.
There it is.
I'm over it.
There it is.
I'm just
I
over
like
all
it.
of them. It's
Yeah.
all I am over it.
I don't even hate superheroes, but I'm with Daniel.
Yeah,
because I like
you know
to
what? You're
hate more.
making me hate tap dancing. Now I'm on board.
it's
I don't
a-
know how that happened, but it's just like Kang the Conqueror.
I hate that you could just make up anything you want, and then that's the new one. And you're like, no, there should be a set amount.
Yeah.
And if you make a new one, you got to take away a one.
Yes!
it's got to.
Lovecraft Country.
there's
That's
zero
what he's from.
value.
It's
He's
got to
the
be.
character from that.
It's got to be like the EPL. You got to relegate one
Yes.
down to an unsuperhero.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Flash, you're
Yeah,
relegated.
yeah.
'Cause we
You're
got
not-
Kang.
That's DC. This is Marvel.
Yeah, it's just too big. It's like if it's infinite everything,
Yes.
then what is it? There's no
not, then
value.
it's nothing.
If there's infinite diamonds, then diamonds are worth nothing.
Thank you.
It's-
And all you guys, you get all crazy. Oh, Ant-Man 3, oh, Ant-Man win. It's like, stop it. Just stop it.
I'm sorry. In my day, like, because I was a nerd back in the day when it was frowned upon to be a nerd. And now that it's out in the open, I get to enjoy this. So if they do Ant-Man 18, I'm still going to watch
Oh,
it because
God.
I didn't have this when I was a kid. And I'm
here's-
glad that it's out now.
Here's what I would like. Just stop for a little while and give us about 5 years with no cartoon baby movies with people flying around. Give me 5 years.
What do you want? White bummer movies? Like
I
you want
want
everything to be
5
Oscar-worthy?
years
No,
of cowboy
I don't want you
movies.
depressed. The world's depressing enough as it is right now.
I want
an escape. I want fantasy.
Hold
I
on.
don't want to think about
Just
my
stop.
dead dad or
Just
Dan's
stop.
dead mom. I
Just
don't want to hear any of that stuff.
stop for a
I
second.
want to escape to the movies and not have to think about it.
I understand that, but I want a good Young Guns.
yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
give
yeah.
me a Delta Force Chuck Norris.
yeah.
Give me
Oh my
sprinkle in a couple of good war
Under
movies.
Siege.
Yeah.
With,
Yeah,
Oh,
Black Hawk
yeah.
Down. Give me a
Popping out of
Black
the
Hawk
cake.
Down. Give me an Under Siege. Give
Yeah.
me some boobies out of the
Yes,
cake.
yeah.
But all of this
Some Commando.
yeah,
where
like
he drops the guy
Superman and
after he
Batman
crashes his Porsche.
and Spider-Man. Oh, it's not that Spider-Man. This time it's Miles Morales Spider-Man. No, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that Spider-Man. This time it's a pig Spider. No,
Oh, yeah.
all of that. 5 years of none of that.
Yeah. It's a different universe. That's the problem. Here's the problem with fantasy is that, like, there's no hard set rules that everybody lives by. So you got some nerd telling me, and EJ, I'll let you tell me. You're like,
Go ahead.
This.
Let's see how wrong you are when you say this.
I'm just gonna
Well,
say.
this is a different Green Lantern because this Green Lantern was born under a yellow sky. Like, get out of here with that garbage.
Yeah, or you're like,
Earth 1, Earth 2, yeah.
nobody could pick up Thor's hammer except the Hulk. And
When he's extra angry from the juice that he drank.
there's also a Lexor that has ultimate powers that can kill anybody. And you're just like, you start making up, and you find these little obscure.
You know what it's the equivalent of? It's
There
the
is
equivalent.
rules to the universe.
No,
it's like
it's
magic
not.
and Harry
But
Potter.
then they
you have to
add-
can't do certain things.
It's
with
the
magic.
equivalent
There's certain rules.
of.
There is
I'm just gonna pot it down. It's the equivalent of when I was a kid and we're playing tag, and I'd go like tag, and the kid was like, "Oh, you can't tag me. I have a force shield."
Yeah.
You're just making things up
nerdy
to alter
kids.
the story.
Yeah.
But that's what they have to do. Like everything changes. Like with Flash, they have multiple Earths. So yeah, there is a Green Lantern that was born under a yellow
You know,
sun
our-
or a red sun or
No,
a
but
blue
the-
sun.
You know our friend Austin Rouse, Becca and Austin,
Yeah.
they've been listeners for a very long time. He put up like a graphic, and he and his daughter went through and they watched
I watched all the Marvel movies. in a
all
row.
the Marvel movies, and like so just to figure out like how many of these Marvel movies, he put them all up there, the whole Marvel universe that ends with Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
How
oh,
many
no.
of those do you think I've seen?
of all of them?
Of
I
all
don't
of
think
them.
any of them. I think you only saw Deadpool,
two.
right?
I've only seen two.
Which
And
one?
Deadpool's not even in that universe.
No, I've seen Iron Man
Yeah.
1, and I've seen Captain America, but the one where he's fighting the Nazi skull.
Oh, the Nazi
Oh, you saw
skull.
the first Avenger, Captain America.
Yeah, Nazi skull.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
So
call
you
it.
didn't see Winter Soldier or
No.
Civil War.
Mm-mm. Nope.
I'd like.
Civil War is fantastic.
Don't care about any of them. It's all garbage.
Yeah.
You didn't see Black Panther?
I did see Black Panther, actually. 3 then. I've seen 3.
Okay. Like, you have to see Black Panther.
Yeah, I have
Chadwick
seen Black
Boseman,
Panther. I
of
enjoyed Black
course.
Panther.
Yeah.
I just
Who do
want
you
to
think
hate.
they should have to
I
play
just
the next
want to
Black
hate
Panther?
these movies so bad. I just it's like they're made for me to hate.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then they roll them out, and then they just keep pumping them out, and I'm like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's like, it's
It's-
so predictable
The-
garbage.
and-
Well, then you hate it on Freaky, so at least Freaky's different from Captain America.
I've told
whatever.
Andrea that just about everything on a screen lately has turned me off. I might become a book man. Because everything is, I'm like, that's garbage, garbage. I watch Sanford and Son and QVC. That's it.
I was making the transition to
Full transition. I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to cut my hair to a bozo and just start rocking it that way and prepare myself for the
And
inevitable.
then just yell bargain alert every 5 minutes.
I will tell you, I did an old man thing this morning. I
Oh,
think-
what'd you do?
Well,
Please tell me.
I get my smoothie now every day now. It's literally 7 days a week.
How many calories in that smoothie?
I don't
Oh,
even
no,
know.
he goes with it's a green one.
But it
With tons of sugar in it that he doesn't know about.
and they got a new girl that started, and I saw her.
Uh-oh, sweetie.
I saw them training her and everything, and then today was her first day
Alone.
alone.
Was she shaking when
And
she held the
no.
Planet Smoothie cup?
But I got my smoothie, and I'm like, it's off.
Oh, did you say that?
no, I
I've
never.
seen guys that say that.
I never say them.
There was a
But
guy.
I was grumpy on the car right here, and I drank it. I drank it mad, and I was like, they didn't do it right. This new girl doesn't know. And then grumpy old man drinks
two
his smoothie.
scoops of PB2.
Oh, here comes Tom writing a Yelp review.
Yeah. No, I'll never complain or do anything about it, but I got a grumpy old man moment where I drove
Well, you're
mad.
just doing it on a radio station that everyone listens to, so...
All right.
All right, EJ.
This guy's got to plug something.
Yeah,
I don't
what
even
do-
know how this
I
bit
don't
works
know.
anymore.
Buy me a fence or something. I don't know.
I told you to call Orlando fence sponsors. Tell them like, hey,
Yeah, just pitch it yourself.
it'll work. It's like what's that? The pickup artist. It's all about numbers. If you call every fence company in Orlando and be like, hey, I got this,
No, you got to do it like this. You got to call them and
I
be
have
like,
this
"Look,
fence companies-
opportunity for you to advertise for the Nerd Jock segment to buy me a fence.
No, call
No.
and you got to throw out a neg. So you got to be like, I've called a lot of fence places and I want to work with them. You guys are like my fourth or fifth choice.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting some quotes.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, well, you want to be the first choice on this radio station. And there you go. Free
Yeah.
fence.
Tell them radio because a lot of fence companies are owned by real old
Yeah.
men and they know radio.
Throw in some racist joke. It'll
Yeah.
get him
Say
on the
FM. Say this is the FM powerhouse, and then say, give the deal out. Be like, I'll
Tell
do a
him we
trade.
guarantee between 5 and 25 million impressions because that's meaningless.
Yeah. Give them impression
I'm
numbers.
an influencer for sure.
No. Don't. You can't go influencer. That's newfangled jargon that
Yeah.
they're not going to understand. You're talking to real men.
You got to go old words.
So you say, I'll give out your phone number on the radio every.
say, we'll get your landline ringing. They love that.
Yeah. And then and then make a trade, and because their cost and everything, really, it's just the labor of sending some people out. But with this job, if they're doing a trade job, they'll send like their son that's a F up that they'll force him.
So they're
to
going
go
to send
up.
a smoothie girl out, and my fence is not going to be exactly right.
It's not going to be great with trades, but it'll
It's going to
be-
stop people from staring at you while you're
You'll be-
swimming.
yeah. And then all you have to do is, you tell them for 6 weeks or for 2 months, you'll just throw out the guy's number, bingo pongo. What I have to do it for you, EJ?
But what would you rather have?
Yes, please.
Would you,
I'm a baby.
Would you rather have the fence, or would you rather Tom and I pick up the tab to have your unicorn horn removed?
I'm going on the 29th to get it. That's why I got my hair cut, but it's still long on the top.
Can we see the horn?
My son decided to cut his own hair this weekend, and I had to go take him to the barber shop.
Oh, can we see the
Good
horn?
luck with that.
Put the
When
horn.
that happens to your kids, Tom.
Put the horn on. Let's see it.
I don't know. It's right there.
Oh my God! Jeez Louise!
Gross.
It looks like you've
It's
been.
about the size of a quarter and maybe about an eighth of an inch high.
It looks like Popeye hit you in the head with a rubber mallet.
It does. Like if I shaved my head, you'd see it perfectly.
Have your wife tap dance that thing down. I've seen the cartoons. That works. Bugs Bunny did it.
No, you put your finger on the top of it and you just go. "Ooh." That's how you do it.
Yeah.
All right, get out of here.
All right, love you guys.
All right,
All
love
right,
you
see
too.
ya.
We'll talk to you soon. All right, bye. There he is. That's EJ live with Nerd Jock.
All right. Do we got to get out? Oh, God. Bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. You can check out all of our shows and all of our content, tomandan.com, or snag our free app. Completely free. Just search A Mediocre Time or Tom and Dan wherever you get your Android and Apple device. smart apps.
Yep, there's still new merch on our website or the app. If you go to tomanddan.com under the merch section or the app under the merch section, we've got some Rocks glasses, new straw hats with the new logo. We've got some BDM shirts, men, women. We've got some sticker packs.
Yeah,
So
I
we
love
got
the
new
sticker packs. And the new straw
masks.
hats with the new kind of, I don't know what you call it, like an endless summer, like surfer logo type of vibe.
Yeah.
It's very, very sharp. Looks nice.
touching tips underneath. So, all right, let's get some weird job.
Here we go. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Say Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Mortgage. If you want to refi or get a mortgage, streamlineflorida.com. Just call up Brian Zymel and his team. They will hook
They're
you
awesome.
up.
We are in the beautiful Streamline studio right now.
Yep.
And look, guys, I know we've been kind of beating this drum for weeks, but now there's never been a better time.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, you probably
rates are low.
yeah, just
If you wanna
get on it.
refi. I just refied again. So
I refi every single morning before I come in here.
Yeah.
Just why not, right?
Yeah. All right. Greg is on the line. How you doing, Greg?
Hey guys.
So
We're doing all right, Greg. How's the family? What's new?
I got a 1-year-old.
Oh,
one.
buddy. Oh, man.
So yeah, having fun with that.
But congrats, because it's a good age, too, because they don't really move. That's nice. Where they
Well, he's 1, and then my daughter is 14.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Wow.
Man,
Yeah.
you
Well,
are
but
brave.
the 14 can
Take care
of the 1.
Well, that's the idea, but good luck trying to get a 14-year-old to babysit.
Yeah.
I know.
Man,
It
sir,
only works in the videos.
did you plan? You're like, you know what? I'm gonna have a baby. 14 years later, another baby.
Yeah.
Like that.
And then 14 years later, another baby.
It sounds like
They call him 14-year sex Greg.
Did you plan on that, Greg?
No, his middle name is Accident.
Now, for 14 years, you just been playing the old pull-out bingo, or what? Like, did you just say,
Whatever.
yeah,
Or did you think maybe the plumbing had rotted in the warehouse?
No, it's just the birth control at 1% of the effectiveness. That's what got us.
Real? Or did someone forget? There's more to the story here. I know one.
Well,
Oh.
I'll blame her.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your job, Greg?
I heard you guys talking on the Labor Day Best of about the magicians and David Copperfield and things like that, so I reached out to Sam. I've actually worked with David Copperfield on several stretches of his tour. I've done some work with a bunch of other magicians.
Whoa.
I'm basically a stage manager, but the rotating acts that come through are various types of magicians and things like that.
Do you sort of specialize now in magic?
Not so much specialized, but because I know how the ins and outs of it work and I know what they're looking for, a lot of times I gravitate towards that.
That's neat, man.
So when you work
I
with
love
someone,
some magic.
you probably have to sign a crazy amount of non-disclosure agreements and all these things that you can't tell anybody because you know how the tricks work, right?
Right. David Copperfield really has a pretty airtight non-disclosure. But, there's certain aspects of it that are known to the public. The biggest thing about magic is it all works on the same basic principles. It just depends on how each magician presents it and is able to present it towards the audience, whether it's small time or large like David does.
And are all the tricks, they're all surprisingly simple, right? Like if we all knew, because every time we watch these shows about like the magicians revealing how the trick's done and all that, it's so stupid how they actually do it, where when you watch it, you're like, oh, well, that's underwhelming, because
Usually
it's so
what's
easy.
most impressive is whatever they're doing to distract you from the actual trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller, he has a really good quote about that. Everyone always asks a magician about how you do it. You don't want to know how it's done, because once you know how it's done, you feel like a jerk. Because once you realize that it's just gaff tape and some cardboard, and that is what tricked you into thinking a person is magical or, amazed you, you feel like a jerk.
Yeah, I understand.
So, with being a stage manager for
That's cool.
like Copperfield and other magicians, what are some of the things that you have to do? Is you just have to make sure that all their tricks and everything, the setup is correctly placed and then removed from the stage and that kind of thing. You're managing the pace of the stage show, right?
Correct. So, like I said, on a tour with David, he comes in with tractor trailers full of all of his gear and props and things like illusions. And so we have to build those. We have to find rooms so that he has space to set up certain aspects of different illusions. One of his biggest illusions that he does is a thing called Portal, where he picks somebody out of the audience. Well, he picks several people out of the audience, and each person contributes a different aspect to it. And then finally he pulls someone out and they transport themselves to a beach in like Hawaii or Bali. And, it's there. It's a live camera shot of them actually there on the beach. But there's certain elements of that have to have different space throughout that the audience may not see. So we have to set that up.
They just do that with twins, right?
No, that's not true. That's not how it's done.
Do they? But they do it with lookalikes, right?
No. On some of the stuff that you were talking about the other day about David, the reaction that people have for certain illusions, you're either invested in it or you're not invested in it. So the angle that they're wanting to take is to misdirect so that you think you know what's going on. Right. And that's the key to most all of it, because that's what you're focused on. You're like, oh, this is, just smoke and mirrors. While there's so many other things happening in the other side of the room that you're not even paying attention to.
Have you ever seen a trick, or an illusion that maybe you were working on
gone wrong?
Yeah, go wrong, or have you ever maybe contributed to something because just I don't know, it may not have been you, but just timing or setup or something went wrong?
Well, yes, actually, and it kind of both of those things. I was working with a magician. It was a husband and wife team on a cruise ship, and his wife was his assistant, beautiful, young blonde, just typical magician's assistant. Looks much better than the magician. He was doing a bit where he makes it snow on stage. You may have seen something like that, where he tears up pieces of paper and then rubs his hands together, and it starts snowing in the theater. Well, I can tell you that depends on a prop. So the prop itself had to be brought out on stage. Well, earlier in the rehearsal, they had decided to change the order of the show, and his assistant, his wife, forgot where they were going to be doing that bit. She was meant to bring the prop on stage to set up the bit. I was in the wings, and she came running up behind me, completely naked, because she was in the middle of a costume change.
Oh my God, Greg.
Completely naked, and she had tears in her eyes, and she was freaking out because she knew he was setting up with the audience, a full house audience, for this bit and expecting her to walk out on stage.
And the only
to
thing
play
she could
rock.
do is walk out naked and save the show.
And that's the thing. She couldn't obviously do that. So she was begging me. She's like, please take this out. The stage is already spiked. You know exactly where it needs to go. And so I walked out on stage, and he's staring at me, freaking out because he had no idea what was going on.
What have you done with my naked wife, Greg? I trusted you, brother. It was Hulk Hogan the whole time.
So I set the prop, and I just tried to communicate, through my eyes. I'm like, everything's okay, and walked off stage. And, he ended up going on with the illusion. Everything's
Trying to
fine.
communicate
But,
with your eyes to the magician. Your naked wife is fine. I'm telling you with my eyes.
Everything's fine.
Hopefully you can read in my eyes that your naked wife is crying backstage.
But, yeah, that was one of the more memorable ones.
So
You got a cool-ass job, man. This is a good one.
let me ask you this: do all magicians, or most of them, are like maybe a Copperfield?
Are they gay?
level? Do they have like outs for the trick, as far as like if something goes wrong here, like during the transition, that they know that they'll go to here to get to the ending? You see what I'm saying? So that it doesn't all break down and they got nothing. Like
Right.
They have multiple ways they could finish the quote unquote illusion or whatever trick. That way they're not dead set on just one thing happening. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, very much so. I mean, honestly, that's kind of what separates the Copperfields and everybody else. The contingency plans, I mean, there's multiple ones. You can go in many different directions. Now, on the larger scale illusions, if something goes wrong, from a safety standpoint, that's up to me. I have to keep an eye out and make sure that everybody's safe. So, I mean, if something goes wrong and there's a danger to it, I'll completely stop the scene, and, you have to drop the curtain at that point. However, moving people in certain directions, the misdirection, it's one of those aspects of magic where that's the whole point. You're steering someone to where you want them to be. How you get there, there's many different ways to get there.
Well, it's almost like, in a weird way, and I know we've talked to our friend Chris Turner in England, who is an accomplished and amazing freestyle rapper. It's almost like magic is you're freestyling at some point, I mean, you got
there's a plan, but there's different routes to the ending, and then they could pivot based on whatever. Like if someone picks this card, you go this direction. Like the Koshio's talk about that with us. Has there ever been a massive equipment failure? Like you've heard of, there's been magicians, and I kind of wanted to talk about the danger aspect, and I'm not sure if Copperfield ever did a trick that was necessarily dangerous.
I think he has, yeah.
But there are tricks in the magician world that actually, if things failed, you could potentially die or be harmed. So have you ever seen any people have their actual tricks
Just ask,
fall?
have you ever seen anybody's head get chopped off?
No, there was a trend for a while of the knife under the paper bag trick, where the magician has a knife sticking straight up under a paper bag, and you slam your hand down on it, and you have the audience pick which one he's slamming his hand down on. That has gone wrong a lot.
Yeah, I hate that trick.
You can find all sorts of videos of that on YouTube and things like that. There was one infamous one where the magician screwed it up, but used it was on live television. He used the television anchor's hand.
I think it was Australia.
It was a woman.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Most people stay away from the concept of real danger. It's only meant to look dangerous. It's not actually dangerous. If you're doing something actually dangerous, you're being dumb and irresponsible.
The knife thing. Like I've seen, I think the one you're talking about was like Australian television, and they use the anchor's hand, and it's real bad. Like it's like Faces of Death bad. It's like why would you want to watch that?
And that's the thing. She screams, and because she got a knife, or sorry, not a knife. It was actually he was using nails.
Yeah.
She got a nail through her hand, and she screams, and he thinks she's joking because he thinks he didn't screw anything up, and then he realizes what has happened. It's pretty scary stuff.
So, when it comes to like the bigger magicians, like a Copperfield,
And you don't mean larger.
no, just like a more famous. How many like people are on his crew
Oh, yeah,
and his
you mean the
staff?
staff? Yeah.
Yeah, like what does it take to put on a Copperfield show? Are we talking dozens here? Are we talking like a solid 10? I don't even
50
know.
50 people?
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah.
You would have, with David, he toured with most of his own crew. So he would rely on local crew, what are called local crew, in a Roadhouse Theater. Roadhouse Theater would be a theater where different acts come through every night. So he would tour with roughly probably about 15 to 20 people. All of that is, sound, lighting, technicians, video technicians, and then you also have the actual running crew that are on the stage, pushing and pulling the illusions off, assisting with props, assisting with bringing people up out of the audience, and just operating things like that. David uses not a teleprompter, but kind of like a teleprompter type system that the audience doesn't see. So when he brings somebody out of the audience, he'll ask them what's your name, where are you from? He does this, almost 365 days a year. He can't remember all of that. So it's typed in. So he has someone that types in that information that he can see on a screen on the stage itself.
Gotcha.
So things like that.
How many
God,
like?
that's pretty cool.
I know you got a non-disclosure and all that, but
How long does that disclosure run, though?
Oh yeah.
About 5 years.
So
I'm actually coming up to the end of my non-disclosure.
Ooh, come in here. Let's
Oh.
just air it all
yeah,
out.
tell all of
Come
his
on,
tricks.
Greg. Come in here. And then we'll end the entire show by putting a nail through Travis's finger. Right through his hand.
It's probably unimpressive though, right, Greg? Like, have you ever? Okay, without obviously you can't talk about too much, but all the tricks are unimpressive the way they're done, right? Or is there any that you're like, whoa?
Well, no. See, that's the thing. Like I said at the beginning, all magic is based on the same basic principles. Now, David Copperfield has gotten himself into a position where he's able to take those principles and just throw ungodly amounts of money at it.
Right.
So the fact that he can do what he does, and the reason he's the best and richest and most well-known, is because he can afford to be. He's the one that has been able to invest so much money in developing his act that no one else can compete against it.
Greg, your voice is getting harder and harder to listen to. I almost feel like I'm hearing a person die live on the phone.
I apologize.
No, you're good. I just want to make sure you don't have the virus.
No. It's just how I am. Just my voice.
So with like Copperfield, like he can actually pay to do insane things. Like
if the trick is very simple, right? The only thing that's going to make it grandiose is if you throw the money at it and make everything surrounding the simple trick amazing.
But also,
I think that's what Greg's kind of saying, is this guy's able to
Exactly.
fine-tune it and make it literally perfect.
he could probably use technology that is only available to the army that he bought. Like he could
Sure.
buy insane things that like, all right, this was $1 million.
Yeah.
So of course people can't figure
But
it
the
out.
premise is still exactly the same.
How many plants?
Correct.
How many plants do these magicians use as far as like audience plants, or is it mostly real audience that like helps?
It depends on the illusion. It's kind of hard to answer because if you have one plant that is assisting in magic, it's called a confederate. If you have one person in the audience that's assisting, that one person is helping misdirect everyone else. Did you guys, the Indiana Jones stunt show?
Yeah, I love that show.
You're gonna have to change that
So-
name, by the way. The play was like it's now called the Copperfield football team. Thank you.
The reason I bring that up is because they pull people out of the audience. Everybody they pull out of the audience is an actual volunteer, just a random person, except for the Hawaiian shirt guy. Hawaiian shirt guy is the actual stunt man. So that one person is helping. It's more considered part of the illusion rather than a plant. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does, because there's more job there than just
Yeah,
you
he's
need
doing
to,
a stunt. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I also think it's weird that they named that the Confederate, which is
It is very
very
It's probably
It's
old timey magic.
It's old. Yeah, exactly. It's an old time.
I almost feel like if more white people knew that the plant was called traditionally the Confederate, they'd like magic more because they're racist.
It's magic, not hate. I guess we'll get to money-wise. And Copperfield, we talked about. He's a billionaire.
Yeah, that guy's just ridiculously rich.
And I guess with such, I mean, once you got all the tricks and everything, your act is bought. Then you have a small crew.
You got to keep them nice, though. You got to have a warehouse to store all this stuff.
True, but
because there's nothing I hate more than watching a magician and you look at those aluminum like daggers or whatever, and they're all fingerprints and banged up.
But you're right. I mean, you're selling out. I mean, what is Copperfield? How big of a venue does
Copperfield sell out the Amway, right?
It's arena.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and he's in residence at the MGM in Las Vegas.
Yeah. So he's just literally
That's
banging out checks. It's an insane amount of money. Like he's got an endless amount of money.
Well, we know kind of the Carrot Top money, and Copperfield's bigger than that.
Oh yeah. So. Well, like I said, a billionaire. So what can you pull in, Greg, as a stage manager for a magician?
I make about $65,000.
No, that's pretty good.
And it's an interesting job. It changes. There's moving parts. Would you say it's a relatively hard job, or did you feel like it was difficult?
No, not at all. And for me personally, I'm a fan of magic to begin with, so
this is perfect for you.
I never wanted to perform. I enjoy the technical aspect and how the technical intricate things work. So
that's like a perfect job for you, man. I think I would like that too because I'm a setup guy too. I like the setup.
Yeah.
So like being like, by the way, this bit selfishly, I just listen to what you guys say to see what I'm gonna do when this fails.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a cool ass job.
Yeah.
Touring with a magician, you know,
the
you're
problem is
entertaining folks.
A lot of pressure. Like if anything goes wrong, it's on you as a stage manager.
You have that now as a business owner. So.
Yeah, but there's a lot. I've built in a certain amount of leeway so that I can make a lot of mistakes without it being detrimental to my career. Like almost all mistakes.
Point taken.
And then I use the mistakes as
fuel to keep the
entertainment
train on the train. Yeah, I just see.
It's just all
point taken.
It's like a snowball of mistakes, just getting bigger and bigger, and soon it's gonna hit.
Yeah, something. Well, Greg, that's awesome, man. Hey, thanks for being our winner and for calling in and being on Weird Job Wednesday.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, dude.
Be good. Take care. Stay safe out there.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah,
poor guy. We're making him talk. He's losing his voice.
Man.
I hope he didn't have like throat cancer or something. I always feel bad when I say things like that. People are like, "That's my throat cancer." And I'd be like, "I'm sorry." Like, I don't know. What do you say?
I'm sorry for making fun of your cancer, sir. It was funny.
Wasn't making fun of the cancer. I was making fun of the throat. But now that I know it's cancer, I've changed my ways.
Yeah, now I feel sad when you talk instead of happy, which is worse.
That's fantastic. Oh, I almost looked at you and said, "I love you." All right, let's take it. What?
Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and now we've got Sam. Hey, Sam.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Very good to see you. Butler's in the other room. He's running around crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And Sam's giving him the business behind the scenes. Oh, and then he does the thing where he pops around the corner, and he's like, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And he doesn't
He's like the
understand
Kermit the Frog thing where he's like,
yeah, I'm not bothered at all. Yeah, he does do the Kermit where you just flap your tiny felt arms back and forth. But hey, let's jump right into it because we got limited time. But every once in a while, we get to sit down with our smart friends. That's what I call them from the Orange County Library System. My wife has. I voted her. Oh, by the way, when I asked you last week, we were talking about the library, Orange County Library System, and I asked you how many books do you think my wife has written, or not written, but actually read this particular month, and I hit it right on the nut. 18 books.
That's ridiculous.
She's crazy about the books.
I've never done that in my life.
The books that are coming and going from our home and digital copies, and then I'm voting her best library user of all time.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote her that right now.
And so we got a couple guests on Skype and on the line with us to talk about the Orange County Library System. And one of them is a local radio legend.
Oh, legend status doesn't even count.
That me and
man.
Daniel are excited to talk.
She's bigger than that.
Because we love talking radio. It was a part of our lives
you
for so
have a real
long.
unicorn here, though, and I'll tell you why. Because Scott and Erica, the two nicest people in radio, and God bless Scott, he's no longer with us.
Yeah.
But literally, it stops with them. They're the only people I've ever met that are, quote, the nice radio people. Everybody else, like us, we're terrible people.
There's two and we'll talk to Erica about all that. And we also have Scotty on the line from the Orange County Library System to tell us all the technical details of what's going on.
Well, he's just here to rein us in.
For
flopping all around.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, can you hear us okay?
I can.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks for
very
having
good
me.
to hear from you guys. And now in this time of people, staying at home and using, are you getting people that are using the library facilities as much as humanly possible now that we're kind of tucked in and doing things that way?
We are. In particular, we're finding that people are noticing that we have so much that's available digitally. We've also, as everybody has, we've had to pivot, and so all of our programming right now is online, which has a positive effect because we're reaching people who might not otherwise have transportation to get us, that sort of thing, and people who are, tuning in to us from other places, not just Orange County, but they're finding us. Home delivery has been very important to people during this time as well.
Yeah, home delivery, distance learning. Now, Erica, how did you get involved to be a friend of the Orange County Library System? How did you gravitate to wanting to volunteer and help these guys out?
Well, it started back when I was doing the Scott and Erica show. I'd like to do a lot of the community work, a.k.a. free work.
Yes, I'm familiar.
But, the community supported me for decades, so I just wanted to do my part and give back. So when the library would ask for a volunteer to come down and do some of the children's programming, like when Sesame Street would come to town every year, usually around October, they would bring Big Bird or they would bring Oscar the Grouch or, and so they would do a kids program down in Library Central, and I would kind of be the go-between. And that kind of segued into doing other stuff with the library. And then they asked me if I wanted to join the Friends Board of Directors. And that was a big fat yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's really neat that, I think we live in a time now where I don't feel many of my contemporaries say no. She said something that your eyes. I saw him. His eyes exploded.
Yeah.
Because you said, well, the community had supported me for so long that I felt it was only it's almost like my duty to help give back to them. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that.
Also, Erica's
come on.
Erica's experience with radio, it's 180 from my experience because everybody I work with in radio was almost killing people, going to jail all the time.
A lot of criminal activity.
There was just.
I told you, she's a good one.
Some of the craziest people I've ever met in my life.
Why do you think the library snatched her up?
What kind of hellhole am I in? My God.
I'm virtually certain I heard the library, the actual building itself, say, we used to have Erica, now we have Tom and Dan. I'm almost positive I heard the building say that.
Once we went to podcast, we cleaned it up. Now we're, my God, we're squeaky clean now.
Oh, we are. We are.
But
I think that's really, really cool that you decided to do that, and now doing your own podcast. Podcasting has become a huge part. Audio engineering, podcasting, using the facilities that they have at at our downtown location, the Melrose Center. I mean, it's phenomenal, and it kind of fits into kind of your journey in broadcasting.
Yeah. And
Definitely.
And Erica, the Friends of the Orange County Library System helps fund certain programs that they don't have the funding for, and especially
this stuff can be expensive.
Their used bookstore that always needs funding and needs to be, and like those kind of things that you could help your community by putting money into education and people.
Scott, what can we do if we want to kind of follow in Erica's footsteps and volunteer and maybe assist to keep these great things that we have around. Because listen, if you guys stop doing this, my wife's going to be mad, and that trickles down to me. So what can I do to help out?
Well, you can. First of all, of course, there's getting your library card. This is National Library Card Sign-Up Month, September. So if you go to ocls.info/getyourcard, you can get your card and then use it. But specifically with the Friends, we have memberships. You can become a member, and there are lots of there are discounts that come along with that. You could volunteer. The Friends of the Library run a used bookstore in our main location, as well as a gift shop called Gifts and Greetings, and that's completely volunteer run. And then all of that funding goes to things that might not be otherwise allowed for in the budget, like sewing machines, and something that simple changes a life.
Yeah, well, you also think about it, too, because I think everybody, when we talk about Orange County Library System, everybody just thinks, myself included, I think immediately you go to book. It's books. But the facility and what you guys do is so much larger than that. We're talking, like you said, sewing machines, computers, simulators, audio interfaces, monitors, Macintosh computers, PC computers.
Engineering, audio engineering.
Yeah, 3D printers. The amount of equipment that you guys need is almost... insurmountable.
Also, the education that you guys offer for free, obviously to card holders, and we want to remind everybody that September is National Card Sign-Up Month at Orange County Library System, and so definitely, get your card if you're an Orange County resident. If you're not, you pay a little bit of money, but nowhere close. You can get all this education for free or next to nothing that other, institutions in Central Florida charge a huge amount of money for. And it's crazy that people don't know how much virtual learning you guys offer.
It blows my mind. It's got to blow Erica's mind too. Erica, does it blow your mind to understand that our library, the Mellor Center downtown, they basically could have a radio station. They can do anything they want out of that place. Whether it's video.
No, they are producing a TV show now, run on WUCF, where musicians will come in and record. Prior to the pandemic, they would record a live session and do a little Q&A with some audience members.
Have you guys caught any of these on PBS?
Oh, yeah,
It's my wife's channel.
Well,
my
we
wife
recorded in the same facility.
My wife, Andrea, works for our PBS channel, so WECF. And she will turn those shows on, and man, they're so good, and the musicians that they have are so good. The production values are as good as you're going to get from any channel, and this is our channel. This is our community channel in our city. We need to really, really support this.
So, Scotty, I'm sorry. We're going to talk radio for a minute, but then we're going to go back to the library because I got to talk to Erica
And you felt the need to warn Scotty.
Yeah. Well, just because
I want to hear it, so let's hear it.
You're talking to the lady that, first of all, doing radio is very hard, I think. Secondly, doing radio as a woman... Holy moly, man. And at a time when it wasn't as cool as it is now.
Yeah. So
and sometimes it's not even cool now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, put it this way. When I first started in radio, I wasn't even allowed to have a last name. I was just Erica.
Well, at least you got that and not the
goof name.
The
my
goof
God,
name.
There's so many dumb names.
Eric, I don't know if you ever laugh about this, but one of my favorite things in radio is, most people that get into radio start as an intern, right? It's like they work their way up from the bottom. It's just, it's what I've seen to be the reality of that business. And so when you start as an intern, you intern for some sort of show that ends up nicknaming you some sort of
It's usually
wacky.
and I hate to put it like this, but usually it's your deformity.
Or your
I would be big nose or little guy or little guy.
Yeah.
Or Woodstock.
Or what you like doing is drunky, smoky, Edie, whatever it is.
Edie, there's another name for that.
Yeah. All so it's or maybe it's a genre of television or a decade. There's lots of different Spice Boys and the 69's involved. Anyway, but my favorite thing is that when that person, they go through their internship, they get on the air.
The chance to fill in for Erica.
Yeah.
And do one of her shows, and they go on the air as dumpy dog crap.
Yeah. And then so Dumpy then gets a job, and then he gets on air, and then Dumpy gets more popular, then he eventually becomes a host, and the guy's 48 years old, and he's still being called Dumpy by other professionals.
Yes.
And because
in fact, in meetings with like huge, like you've got PepsiCo, they've got the CEO of Kentucky Fried Chicken and Pizza Hut there, and they're like, "We're so proud to have you doing our live endorsements, Dumpy." And it's so weird. It's just weird.
The guy's 48. He's divorced, and he's got 3 adult children, and then you're calling him Dumpy.
Oh, by the way, our Twitch chat room, we're live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. They're just really happy to see you and know that you're still doing it. How many years in broadcasting now?
Well, not on air, but I had close to 40 years behind the old mic. But
you're doing a podcast. That still counts, I think, because that's where things are going.
Oh, okay. Well, I started doing the podcast about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think we're going to be heading towards 50 years.
And plug it. Where can people find it, and if they want to listen to it?
The easiest way to find me is just to search Erica Lee's podcast, and that's ERICALEE''S podcast. I'm on so many different aggregators, and so many people have, borrowed my RSS link. That,
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, I like the premise of your podcast, because I always tell people when anybody asks us, like, I want to do a podcast, and I tell them all, like, the first thing, I'm like, just go specific to a specific genre.
Yeah.
Don't just say, like, I'm going to do comedy, and then you get lumped into the
pick something you like.
700,000 comedy podcasts. So I like that you have something super specific, because that's where all podcasts are going. Like, target the people that want this specific thing. And where'd you come up with the idea to do it this way?
Well, before I was a co-host with Scott McKenzie for 20 years, I was just a regular in-studio DJ, playing the hits and reading the liner cards and, doing production and stuff like that. So I just basically went back to my roots. I play music. I tell stories of stuff that was going on behind the scenes, meeting artists, that sort of thing. And, I have a bunch of different themes, but my major thing is forgotten hits, which are the songs that you know by heart, but you just don't get to hear anymore because some radio programmer in some small town decided, no, these are the only oldies you're allowed to hear.
Yeah.
Negating 20,000 other songs.
Of course. Yes.
And then I do yacht rock, which is kind of the smooth rock from like 75 to 85, your Hall & Oates, your Steely Dan, your Boz Scaggs, Chicago, and a lot of one-hit wonders. I also do a one-hit wonders podcast, and I do like deep dives on single artists or bands,
like
Sting or Kenny Rogers after he died, Eric Clapton, and just tell stories and have a good time with it.
You got me with the yacht rock, because I listen to yacht rock almost every single day. Like, it's my absolute favorite. Like if I don't know what to put on, it's gonna go yacht rock almost all the time.
Good.
What is your favorite yacht rock artist and song?
It's got to be. Every podcast has a Steely Dan song in it.
Okay,
That's the only constant.
Sam and I, our producer Sam, we were doing some Steely Dan yesterday.
Yeah.
But if I have to go yacht rock favorite song, traditionally, if it's just the one I'm going to whistle in the car, it's going to be Brandy by Looking Glass. Every single time. That is my favorite song.
Hey, Erica, I want to talk to you about something that I enjoy talking to, like, people that have been in radio for a long time, and especially in music radio and like traditional radio DJ. And when I started as an intern, it was 2003, and there was already the profit system, that went from, I guess, what was before that?
Before that, I would actually pick CDs.
Yeah. And
and before that, it was carts, and before that,
and you put the commercial carts.
Yeah, I mean, Erica's probably seen all of it, but she remembers CDs and then the computer systems with MP3s.
Yeah. Oh well, but by the way, in radio, you're always like 10 years behind technology-wise. It's like it's like jeans in Brazil. Like you could tell the people they come over from South America. You're like, why are you dressed like 2005? Because they're just a little behind.
Yeah.
And a radio, like when I started in 2003, we were still using mini discs, and I was editing shows on mini discs. Daniel was cutting. He learned how to cut tape.
I know how to cut tape.
With a razor blade.
Now my heyday would have been DAT. I was a DAT guy.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I'm interested in like when they transitioned into like digital profit systems, and DJ could tell how much time they had to ramp up a song before the actual
it's like a
singing
cheat sheet.
It was,
the post. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And so in the
Eric is the queen of that.
And you used to have to do it, and you learned how to do
she
it by
could do
memory.
The post without a computer with her.
Yeah.
You could cut her. If you could blindfold her, she could do that crazy good.
So how when that happened, and then it basically gave everybody a cheat sheet timer, and then they started just pre-recording them so that if you messed up, you'd know it wasn't live.
Yeah, you could at some point you could pre-record it and just slide your VO over the audio for the post, and I'm like, well, that's just negating the entire skill.
You came up in the time you had to do it live, and you had to do it right the first time.
You had to know the song, and you had to have timing.
Yeah. So,
well, I started. I had the currents were on 45, and the golds and the recurrents were on albums.
Yeah.
And the album had a piece of paper on the front of it that told you which songs were okay.
Yeah.
And then there were some albums that they just didn't trust you. So they would put those little red stickers on the track so that you didn't accidentally play Star Star by the Rolling Stones and say, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the song, go to YouTube and listen to it. It's
you'll see.
It's got some not safe for work language.
Yeah. Questionable.
I also want to talk to you about payola because it's one of my favorite, first of all, favorite things to do, but also favorite like old. I call it old timey because even in I did radio for a decade, but I was always told about payola, told all these stories about how this radio DJ in Atlanta, he was giving us some sort of construction company free commercials, and they were giving him an addition to his house.
Oh,
and
he was getting a pool built.
But I always took it as a joke. Like, I would do it all the time. Like, I would talk about Costa sunglasses. They just send us free Costas. I'd be like, hey, they sent us free. As long as we talk about them. And then people, I think the management was just like, hi, I think he's joking. I don't know. But it was always like one of those things. It was frowned upon, but it was always a joke to me.
Well, it's a little different in talk radio, too. Because we could always say, well, we were just goofing around.
Yeah. So have you ever seen someone get in trouble for payola or have because it was different. It was originally because of
almost like pay for play music.
Producer,
right. That's payola and the other's plug-ola.
I get them confused.
Yeah, so plugging something, I'll be as vague as I can, but I had a general manager that traded out his wedding. Like free ads for the hotel and for the caterer good. And he when they did an audit, that did not work out well for him. He ended up carrying his stuff out of the station in a box.
Oh man!
Normally
they do an audit. I've never even heard of that.
Any of the stories that
I'm serious.
Any of the stories like what Eric is telling you right now, any of the stories that I've heard have never really been on-air talent. Yeah. It's usually been someone in sales that was just inserting ads into. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not the person saying it as much as they're just giving them extra ads within spot blocks. That's how I always heard it.
And I also feel like you worked in a legit climate that took everything seriously.
Again, she's a good person.
Yeah. But you had
I blanket statement that at the beginning of the segment.
I honestly thought this was all just you could do whatever.
I told you she's a unicorn. She's a glorious library unicorn.
But it did happen. I mean, Scott and I would be talking about something like. One day I harked back to, I grew up in the greater New York area in middle New Jersey, and I was talking about Drake's Cakes as opposed to Hostess.
Yeah.
Drake's and Hostess mirrored each other. They had the exact same products. They just called them different names. And my mom used to pop a devil dog or a yodel or a ring ding in my lunchbox every day.
Sure.
And what do you know, the next day, a case of Drake's Cakes shows up at the station. So I mean, I didn't ask for it, but they were really happy with the plug because they don't have a lot of traction down here.
That's how I thought radio did business. I just mentioned stuff, and they sent it to RB like, I need a new roof. And then the roofing company would be like, hey, I'll give you a new roof. You just mentioned me. I'm like, deal.
This explains a lot.
This is the easiest business in the world.
And now that's how we run our company, Erica.
Because now, and we don't even know if there's no rules. We just assume.
I know that there's rules.
I think there's no rules.
There are rules.
You do whatever you want.
Bernie knows.
So,
you better check on Scotty.
Scotty.
Yeah, you haven't even talked to him.
I am. I'm enjoying this.
I just wanted to
Sorry,
check on Scotty. Do you need a bowl of water or anything?
Oh.
I feel like you're our dog. We just put you in the bedroom while we had company come over.
Again,
Couple of treats, I'm good.
OCLS.info to find out all the virtual learning, all the programs, to get your library card.
Let's see how many listeners we can get their library cards.
Yeah. So, Erica, I also wanted to talk to you about...
He'll do this all day, Erica.
We can book her for like a chat with the Masters.
Ruining my chat with the Masters I'm going to do.
So, yeah, we are going to have you on for longer, just talk about old school radio. But I got to talk about one more thing that
She's going to keep going.
Has always surprised me, and it just continued to happen in at least when I was in radio, is the amount of people, radio DJs, hosts out there, that would leave their mic on during the break and then be cursing or playing some sort of porno on their...
It happened to a sportscaster less than a month ago.
And then they end up getting fired because cursing got out on the air or what they were saying or whatever. And it always shocked me because I was like, how does this continue to keep happening? And then they all hear about it industry-wide, and then it still gets them.
Never like, buttoned up.
Why not, when it's break time, you have some sort of double, triple, some sort of safety protocol that there's no way they could turn on the mics.
So what you're saying is, Tom, we live in a time where my SUV will drive itself and also regulate how fast it goes and see cars in front of me and stop me from hitting things. Why not the simple microphone?
Well, again, we're 10 years behind in technology, so we got Ocean Pacific bongos.
Oh yeah. Did you ever leave your mic on, Erica? Ever?
No, I don't think so.
Good person.
But I've never worked with an engineer. So I think that's how it can easily happen.
Yeah, you're right. It's the radio, it's the morning shock jocks that have their intern running the board. They hate them.
Right, exactly.
You know what? That's a bad business move by
You're bullying the guy that leaves your mic on.
All you do as you've been bullying Boner for years, and then he leaves the mic on and listens to you talk to your co about something racist or cursing.
Or cheating on your wife or something, he just leaves it on.
Of course he did. He hates your guts. This is the worst business model I could possibly think of. Like, hey, everybody who's in charge of keeping my career going and keeping me from getting fired, I bully them and call them booger or whatever derogatory name, and they hate me, but they're going to be in charge of my mic.
That's where the problem is.
Yeah.
Oh, Erica, thanks so much for the time. And Scotty, thanks so much for letting Tom scream at you while you're on our phone line.
I love it. I've been a big fan of Erica's for a long time. Can't believe I get to work with her, so I love hearing it.
It's just super neat that you were able to snag her to be on, whether president at one time, but now board of directors, and been, helping out and helping gather more people to help go down there and volunteer.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, guys, thanks so much. Erica, we're gonna we'll send you an email where you want to get you on for we have a longer radio conversation, and again, plug your podcast so people can find that.
Okay, yeah, just pick your favorite search engine and pop in Erica Lee's podcast. That's ERICALEE''S, and got 92 shows from which to choose.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Well, always a pleasure chatting with both you guys. Thanks so much for your time, and OCLS.org, all right?
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thank
See
you.
you guys soon.
See ya.
Bye.
I'm
sorry.
My God, why did you do that to Scotty?
I am so sorry. Bye. I think every
Why did you do
segment
that?
we
I didn't do
the
anything.
end of the segment should be the audio of Scotty going.
I don't
You
know.
just let him sit there on the line.
I don't know how to end this. What do
how
I know?
about interacting with him while he's on the phone?
I know, but I wanted to talk to the whole radio and make
Yeah,
fun
but
of radio.
wasn't the segment about the library?
I know, but I can't help myself. You brought on someone who I can make fun of my radio about.
Okay, so here's what happened.
I can't help myself.
Here's what
You gotta
happened.
get some help,
I'm
man.
gonna have to write an email to Scotty and apologize to him because here's what happened. We knew we had Erica, but we didn't know it was Erica Lee from Scott and Erica.
Yeah.
So then
Maybe Butler should have told you guys.
I know it all comes back to Butler.
He
But then
told
we
us
had
1
her-
minute before.
Yeah, he did. He goes, by the way, guys, it's a white whale. It's somebody you've been wanting to talk
Oh,
to
no.
for years. And then we see her on the screen. Tom couldn't help himself. He's visual. He saw Erica Lee. He goes, I know who that is.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
freaks out. Oh, then you dangled old radio in front of him.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Scotty, and then,
Especially because she didn't work there anymore, so there's a little resentment built in.
Well,
so
she's always kind of shot from the hip,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
not exactly going to
So
hold her tongue.
I'll make fun of them. I can't help myself. It's too easy.
You know, to make up for it, guys, if you're listening, go get your library card from OCLS.
Okay, yeah.
Because you
That's
know,
how you can make it up
yeah,
to Scotty.
'cause
This
Scotty
is perfect.
really
Yeah, yeah.
got the
Yeah,
short
yeah.
end
We
of the
made him
deal
sit
here.
in.
sorry, bye-bye.
Yeah. By the way, one of our sponsors. I should not do
I
this.
know. I'm not sure what was going on there, and I'm like, should I try
I
and
can't
steer
help my-
this another way?
I can't help myself.
You do have an issue.
It was perfect.
Well,
for-
she's like one of the most
I
famous
know.
females in radio
I get
in
it.
this like Florida.
Which
in,
is
like,
why I suggested we'll book her for chatting with
like
the
I
Masters.
grew up listening to them, man. Like
And I know she's got a bunch of stories that I'm going to be like, oh, that's so stupid, this companies. and then we can make fun of them. We laugh. They're like, they did it like
Yeah,
this.
but
And I'm like, ah.
but not at the sacrifice of Scotty.
I know.
Right.
I know. It's my fault. I apologize, Scotty.
bye-bye.
Oh, that was the
Aw,
saddest
that
part.
was.
I know. Because he sat
That
there
was
and
the
was,
saddest. But you know
And
what?
we had issues getting him on.
You have to do distance learning crochet for
Yeah.
1 month.
and we need to see your work
Yeah.
at the end of the week.
You know what? I will do that because I need to crochet some diabetes socks because it's purple crazy.
That's just because you hit your feet on everything.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
All right. Bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. It is time to do some porking. Oh, God. When Tom gets a celebrity on the line, he freaks out and he wastes all their time. He asks them questions he already knows most of the answers to. He just wants to laugh at corporations. Hell, so do I. See, I'm off.
We love porky, yeah!
Who's Porkin'? Brought to you by Porky's Barbecue and Apopka. Have you tried their delicious Cuban sandwich? It's got some.
Who's porking?
Porky's and Apopka. Who do we got today, Sam?
Did you guys look at any of the social medias this weekend? See anything interesting that you might think would be in the porkin' news?
I usually don't follow too many
No?
celebrity gossip
porkin'.
people.
And you know, I wasn't here earlier, so I don't know if maybe this was covered in Nerd Jock. But good old Captain America, Chris Evans. He was in the news this week. This past weekend, he uploaded a video to his Instagram Live that was a bunch of pictures together. And one at the very end was a D pic.
No, really.
So we saw Captain America's D.
No way, really?
Oh, yeah, it was out there.
Big old America?
It was. He then deleted it.
But
But,
people
of course, too late.
Oh,
People
yeah.
snagged
Yeah,
it
that's the
and
way to do it.
screenshotted it. So it's all over the Reddits and whatnot. And he didn't address it at first. And then he went on the Tamron Hall show and briefly addressed it, saying that it was embarrassing. It was a learning lesson. And that, Monday he tweeted, now that I have your attention, go out and vote. So he's turning it into... Although for sure that
But
was
the
not his
weird
intention.
thing- no,
but
but-
also... not a bad D pic.
But the weird thing is that you're only telling a bit of the story. It's that he's asking people to vote for his D.
Vote for Captain America.
You got to vote for my D.
I know I'm skeptical of everything. But to me, okay, you're Chris Evans. You're a celebrity, right?
Right.
And he's been a celebrity for
a long time.
I got to look that up.
10
I want to
years?
see what he's working with.
It's
How
kind
long?
of like in the shadows. So it's not good lighting, but you can see it.
So here's my
More like a silhouette.
my thought process and my theory. So
When did he come on the scene? Varsity Blues, was that him? With the whipped cream scene? That was him, right?
no. That's
No?
that was
that was him. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely was him, yeah.
the quarterback. I thought it was Vanderbeek or whatever. That's Captain America?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Captain America.
Here, there's a picture of it.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
thinking
Oh,
Vanderbeek. You're
oh, the
thinking-
I
quarterback.
mean, he was
Oh,
in that too, but
okay.
I've never actually seen that movie.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. So he's been a movie star. When did that come out?
The
The
90s.
So
Right?
he's now, let's say that what did that come out, 95 or whatever, like
Yeah,
close
at
to
least.
25 years, over 20 years, right? So you're telling me a person that's used to being a celebrity and has been a celebrity for over 20 years, obviously with being a celebrity comes a certain amount of cognizance that you have to be careful what you do
Right.
in public, right? So he knows he's been training for this for all these years, and now you make a slip up by posting a D pic in a bunch of
It's
different
like a
pictures.
photo montage.
Yeah, and that didn't.
I just saw it.
You
and
saw it.
No,
It's
I
girthy.
think there were two.
Oh.
I think there
only
was
saw
one that was the real deal, and one is just in the shadows.
Yeah,
And
I saw the shadows.
No, I got the real.
So you weren't careful enough after 20 years of being a celebrity to not post a D pic in your Instagram
That's what
collage?
I'm wondering, if it was intentional or not.
It's because I'll tell you.
He said it was embarrassing, but it's really only embarrassing if it's a bad D pic, right?
Yes, because I'll tell you, I've now learned a new trick, which is you take a really spectacular D pic, because I think no matter what you're working with, if you have the right angle,
Oh, yeah.
it could look impressive.
No, I've done that.
Right? Yeah,
I've done it to myself where I've
Yes.
taken a few,
Yeah.
when I'm bored or something, and I'm like, all right, that looks all right, delete. But, you know,
Yeah. So you take an impressive D pic, and then under the guise of it's an accident, you post a bunch of pictures on Instagram and include that one as if like you were just going through and the D pic and you just didn't even think about it and you hit send, which again seems unlikely if you're a celebrity for 20 years. You should know
Yeah,
better.
I agree.
You're more cautious. And then once it's out, then you immediately delete it and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. But everybody's seeing this
Oh, yeah, they got it.
spectacular picture. That's a brilliant way to get your D pic out, and I'm just.
I agree.
Because
I do need to make a correction. It was not Varsity Blues. It was not another teen movie where they spoofed Varsity Blues.
You're right.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
which was 2001.
yeah, because
Also, the
the
shadow.
girl had whipped cream and now that I think about it,
The
Yeah.
shadow, and then the fact that it is black and white. Do you want to see it?
yeah,
It is
you can't show it on Twitch. So
It's
No,
girthy.
It's impressive.
yeah.
Look, Chopper came around the corner.
He's got to see what America's got
He's
to work
gotta
with.
see it. All right.
Yeah.
There you are.
Oh yeah. So
Nice.
that I would.
I'd have to
bet
see what the
that this-
Crimson Skull is working with too to really.
I'd put a large wager that this was done on purpose. If there was any way to find out, I mean, there isn't. But
Especially when you're a celebrity, you double check before you
Yes.
post, right?
yes, because
Although
you,
Instagram Live, I
God,
guess.
I double check just like for spelling
Yeah.
errors and stuff. You
Can-
know?
I try
and-
to.
Because
yeah.
again, if this is my pop, then I definitely think it's real. He didn't know technology. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And he just didn't know any better, and he was just clicking buttons. But this guy knows, and he knows better than to ever make an accident
Yeah.
because it can ruin your career, right? So there's a lot at stake here, more than just being embarrassed. Like, what if you put something out there that caused you not to get a movie? That's millions of dollars, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, so your actions could cause you millions of dollars in lost revenue. This was put out on purpose.
I think so
have
too.
To believe so.
I do too.
And I believe that a lot.
And
of-
also because
yeah.
it was like a montage of photos.
yeah.
It's not like it was just one accidentally slipped out there. It's like you selected certain photos to be in this video montage. How
Yeah.
do you not notice
Well,
that
I
one's
guess
in there.
what Juan is saying in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, he says he was live streaming and sharing his phone screen. So when he finished the thing about the streaming, the album that he was...
now that could be an accident.
Like came up. Yeah, I've seen people do that. You know, like you can video your own screen and then play a video and then take the video.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people where they go to swipe up to do the video thing. I guess it's a way you can, and I've seen like they're banking. Not that I can't read anything, but you can see stuff in the background that I should not be seeing.
You're right. Now, but even though that is now lends better to this was an accident. Still, though, if you're the type of person that takes multiple D pics, which I imagine you do if you have it recent on your recent photos, like imagine how many are back, right? A lot, I would assume. If you're a person that takes D pics, I imagine that that's a regular thing that you do, and you have a bunch of them. And that leads me to like, why would you ever then... you know,
it is odd.
Hand someone and be like, "Hey, look through my pictures."
Well, ask me.
Right.
It's like me. Like you guys know what I do. You guys know what I talk about.
Yeah.
But I don't have any pictures
of something nefarious or nudity or yeah.
I don't.
So you would be more apt to even broadcast your photos or hand me so I can look through your photos.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you're the person that has deep
right.
hits
like
or nudity,
me, I'm not doing that.
No,
You're
not just gonna hand me my phone.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, but it seems a bit out of character. You know, the whole chat room is just saying how squeaky clean he is, how this is completely out of character for him. So my point is, well, is it though? Because like, I mean, that's
well, obviously it's not completely out of character because his character involves D-pics.
Right.
Right.
Because okay, so say this is true, right? And this was an accident. He's got a lot of D-pics on his phone, which no bad, no good, but it's something, right? It's something that that means something.
Well, he likes.
Wow.
I mean,
it's something that means something.
Well, I don't know what it means,
wrong.
but it means you're extra horny or what? You like taking D-pics?
It means you're the type of person that would do that, that would take a D-pic.
Means that
because
you
you're taking
like
it for
taking pictures of your own body.
Yeah. For maybe purposes of sharing them.
Possibly.
Right?
Or maybe he looks at them later and is like, yeah.
Well, that's weird.
Self-confidence?
That's a great photo.
That's even weirder
That
to
is
me.
weird.
Yeah. like you taking them for yourself is weirder than you taking them to share it to your hot girlfriend or whatever. I assume that.
Well, what if you're sharing it with your ugly girlfriend?
Or whoever. Like,
I don't know that Chris Evans is dating anyone ugly.
Yeah. I
would like him more if he was. Remember when Daltrey was doing that?
No, I never knew who he was dating. I didn't know who was porking.
And I think he eventually, and then I think, I'm trying to stay on brand here, Sam. And then I think eventually Daltrey broke up with his, I could be wrong on that.
Also, at this point.
I might have dreamt that. I have a lot of dreams about Daltrey.
Interesting.
If you're a millionaire celebrity, right, and wouldn't it be advantageous for you just to hire someone, pay them $20,000 a year, right? And the person can do whatever they want, but that person is in charge of when you upload anything, they just review it.
This is my idea.
And contact
That's that
you.
Thing I want. It's a buffer.
So you want a conservatorship? Hashtag free Britney.
No,
it's a buffer. I just want a second pair of eyes. It's like when I'm doing a promo and I go, Sam, take a look at that. You know, it's like,
no, I know.
Why not?
I just got to throw free Britney in there.
If you're you're free or into extreme mental illness because small man. Oh God, we have a friend.
If she is free, that's what you should be worried about. I feel like
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think if they.
Yeah, it's bad.
I think once they.
What do you mean? You have done no research on this, but you think it's bad?
I see it in her eyes.
Yeah, because she's sad because she's being drugged up and forced to stay in her home and not see her children.
She's sad because she's.
Don't get me started on free Britney, buddy.
Extremely mentally ill.
Why do you think that? What gives you any evidence that she's extremely mentally ill?
He said he doesn't have any. He said he sees it in her eyes.
Her entire social media account.
Yeah, within the past 2 years where they've forced her to be on drugs and not see her children and stay in her home.
I've been on plenty of drugs. Never turned me mentally ill.
I'm on drugs right now.
Yeah. Daniel's on drugs. He's not mentally ill.
You're on Adderall. That's completely different.
Oh, there's been... what drugs make you mentally ill? Like, that's the thing. Like, she is... I mean, there's her track record shows mental illness.
What track record?
Shaving your head.
I've
and,
shaved my head.
How
and
are
attacking
they?
the,
How are they forcing her to take drugs? Like, what are they doing?
They forced her to go to rehab.
They're forcing her,
and they're forcing her to take medication every day.
Yeah, because for her mental illness.
Well, we'll find out when they finally release the court documents that she's trying to get unsealed so that her dad doesn't keep forcing her to take medication that she doesn't need.
All I know is that
this turned into something completely different than Chris Evans' D-pick.
I like that, but it doesn't. I'm hearing everything you're saying, but there's no way you believe she's not got mental illness.
I
believe she is bipolar, but I don't think she needs to be on the medication that she's on, and I don't think she needs to be forced to stay in her home and can't make decisions on her own.
What medication is she on?
I don't know. They've locked the documents down.
Well, then you don't know she shouldn't be on it.
Yeah. That's what conspiracy theories have. Your logic is flawed because you keep hitting. That in all conspiracy theories, they keep hitting brick roads. Or like, what about this? And it's like, that's the conspiracy. It's like, all right, well, it's like proving that God.
If she had a mental illness, how could she be working as hard as she does for the past her whole life?
I have a mental illness. And I work very hard.
But you're also not locked away and not able to make any decisions like an adult. She's 38 years old. She can't make any decision in her life at all.
I'm not as mentally ill as she is.
But yeah. She
performed every night in Vegas, multiple times a night.
So does Howard Stern's Beetlejuice.
No, that's not true.
But just being able to work and perform doesn't mean
that's
that
not
you're
proof that you're
mentally
not
fit.
mentally ill.
If you're that mentally unstable, you should not be going out and doing shows every single night.
I think
that's probably true, but she still could.
But that's like
it's like a goddamn circus.
Mentally ill people have the right
Great
to
album.
work. But
it is a great album.
The problem is they need to be protected from themselves, and we need to do this with a lot more people.
She's fine with that. She just doesn't want her dad doing it.
It's
a whole thing.
I know. I don't know anything about it.
I know you don't.
What I'll tell you, though.
I think people are villainizing her dad, though, because that's fun and easy to do when you don't have all the details.
Yeah.
If we were in the family, I bet it's way stickier and gross.
Oh, it is way stickier and
if you
gross. The mom's on her side, but the daughter isn't because she's also getting paid out by Britney's estate. It's terrible.
If you also never really dealt like personally with severe mental illness, you have a hard time understanding how bad it could possibly be, and like the situations, like you're like, well, what? I've seen her dance. Why? What's wrong?
Well, I've never dealt with it firsthand.
I understand
than my own.
Here's the thing. We have a friend of ours from high school, and she is. And my wife showed me the other day. She's making a bunch of Instagram posts. And it is real bad. Like the mental illness is real bad. And she's talking nonsense, and she's nude in one of them. And then, I guess they deleted that one. But she is. I mean, it's sad to watch. And then, and that got me to think about Britney Spears too, because it's we all do it. Society does it. You laugh at someone that's going through, especially if they're acting bizarre, and especially if they're a celebrity and they're rich and famous, and you're like, you feel fine laughing at them. We all do it. But when it's someone to me, it's sad.
No, it's all sad.
Yeah,
the Britney stuff is sad.
It is, but I'm saying we're more apt to laugh at a stranger that's a celebrity, right?
But we should not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Don't put that out there, or we're not
won't
gonna
have a show.
Yeah,
but
we gotta have some kind of empathy here for people. We can still make jokes.
I feel really bad for Britney and her whole family. It didn't have to go that way.
So what I'm saying is, I wish this friend that we had in high school had a conservatorship over her that would keep her from doing this, because she's embarrassing herself. She is putting stuff out there that she probably shouldn't. Now, then you have the line of like, well, you have freedom, even if you're crazy, you have the freedom to, but is it to your own well-being? Are you a detriment to yourself because of your mental illness? Are you embarrassing yourself unnecessarily because of your mental illness? Like all this stuff that someone looking after you wouldn't let you do. And I do think that there should be more people that look after mentally ill people.
Oh, I agree with that.
And in some cases have control over what they put out, what they do to help them from themselves.
They could be, as a family, going through all of that. And
we have a problem with freedom in the United States. So like we were like, I should be able to do whatever I want. And then it's like, this person is sick.
Yeah.
and they need help.
Well, no, the thing that's sad about that too is that, like, I also think that people have a tendency. It's like people run wild. The conspiracy theories thing is completely out of control, where people, like, they take little bits and pieces of things and then they just make up these grandiose stories, like everything with QAnon and all of that.
Oh yeah,
You know, it's the same
the
thing.
internet's all
It's just-
garbage.
It's all garbage.
My whole thing is, so back to the Britney Spears thing. If Britney Spears right now, if the judge said, all right, no more conservatorship.
She's not even asking for that, though.
But I'm just saying, what do you think, Samantha, would happen if they just said, Britney, you're now in charge of your whole life, the rest of your life?
I think she would still have a team to help her.
But
She knows she needs help, but she doesn't want her dad in charge of it.
Do
Her
you
dad's
think
a goddamn tyrant.
a positive or negative thing would happen from that?
I think ultimately positive.
You do? All right.
I do.
Well, you're.
I'm following it a lot closer than you are.
It's true. I don't know anything about Britney Spears, but I have had people in my life that had mental illness, and
So have I.
And I know that they struggle with it their entire lives, and the only way they're really able to live a normal life is on medication. And
I'm not saying she shouldn't be on medication.
Yeah. And so I don't know anything about the specifics of what
isn't
medication's best for her.
isn't the
I'm saying she
argument
shouldn't be imprisoned in her own home and not be able to make any decisions in her life at
But
all.
isn't
not one.
that the point of
She's still
being
able
under
to post.
that type of care?
But here's the thing.
But she wants it changed.
She's obviously able
Yeah,
to
but
make
what
some
if-
decisions.
So the argument is, it sounds like the people that want her free are not going to be satisfied unless she's free. But
No,
what if she's saying
it's not true.
free? Well, you're saying free Britney, but
Well,
what?
it's just
But what
the
if the
movement name.
best place for her? Because you're saying she's not able to make any decisions for her life. But what
she can't
if?
leave her house without permission.
But okay,
She
but
can't make a phone call without permission.
okay,
Well,
but
she
what
could
if
post on
that,
Instagram,
But what
right?
if that?
With permission.
No, but-
It goes through.
Who's okaying those crazy
Her dad!
videos?
No, but that's my
Oh.
point is. But
Yeah,
what if
so is
that's
she
the way
making-
it's supposed to be? Because everybody looked at the scenario and that's what's right.
Yeah,
Right, well, that's why they're going back. They keep going back to court.
I know, but
Here's the
nothing's
thing.
changing. So my point is,
I have
that
to believe-
obviously
Yeah.
everybody
Nothing's
is saying
changing because-
she needs to be able to make decisions, but obviously not because nothing's changing. It's not like some grand
because
conspiracy.
they haven't got to that part of the court yet.
all I'm
because
saying
of COVID.
is
No,
her
it's-
family probably
it's not
knows.
as big as everybody wants to
Her
make it.
family knows better
I
than the
disagree.
fans. That's all I'm saying.
Of course.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but her family is at odds with each other because half of them don't want this happening either, including her kids, her mom,
Well, that's-
her ex-husband.
Here's the thing. That's their business.
I know.
And they don't need any fans weighing in, right?
Well, no, they don't know what's going on. That's the point.
Yeah. The
And
fans
so
are
now
just
you've got an army of people
conspiracy
that
theories.
know nothing,
Yeah.
that are piling on and already deciding what should be done for the people that are actually in it, and they're already having a tough
I
time.
think people
deciding
just
it.
want things to be fair.
Because
But my question is, how is it not fair? We're not in it,
Because
so
it's-
how are we able to judge what's fair for a family?
What we're saying
in it?
is it hasn't gone to court for 12 years, and now that it is, people want it to be reassessed and fairly done. The only thing she's asking for is that her father doesn't have control over her life anymore. She is okay with being under a conservatorship, with taking her medication, with all these things, with the other person that's already
Nah.
part of the conservatorship that's
I'm
not controlling her
100%
life.
behind her dad.
is it? Well, who does she want to be her conservator?
It's like
her
a
mom?
lawyer. No.
That's Count Chocula.
It's like a professional that knows the conservatorship laws. It's not her dad who just wants to cash in all her money
But
and tell
what
her
if he
when she
doesn't?
can. He literally brought into court the fact that she disagreed that she didn't want to do this one performance that was like, I don't remember how many thousands of dollars. She just said she didn't want to do it.
I understand that.
He's like suing her for not performing.
Okay.
But she's mentally ill, but you're going to force her to perform?
Well, that
Come
just
on,
may be
man.
a business contract.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
You see, you're applying, and what other fans are applying is your own logic to what the family's trying. And my point is, but what if? No, what if everything you're saying is absolutely incorrect? Everybody's saying we want it to be fair.
Because her biological mom has a say, so why isn't her
She
biological?
has said things.
Well, there's a court process to go and
Right.
you know, like there's all these things that they could do.
That's what they're doing.
And yeah, okay, well then they'll do
Then
it.
it's fair.
Yeah.
That's my point, is that it is
It'll
fair.
work itself out, whatever way.
Maybe,
But
well,
why?
but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's finally starting to happen where it's going to court and things are actually moving. That's
Also,
all I'm saying.
Who is the people?
Back to Chris Evans, D.
Why do people care so much about Britney
Because
Spears?
it's sad.
But there's so many sad things in their
Yeah,
own
you're right.
lives, and
You're
like
right.
it's like Britney.
So I'm not allowed to make a comment on it?
No. I'm just saying it's.
Easy, my God. I still support her dad wholeheartedly, and when this all shakes out, oh man, you and the other.
You're pro Jamie?
Oh yeah, I don't even know his name, but everything he's saying is absolutely correct. And this lady, not only should she be locked away, she should be locked away twice
My
with zero
God.
decisions made,
Yeah.
and it is more than fair.
Here's the thing. I watch her
I don't
Instagram
know.
videos, and if you watch those and
Well,
say,
half of them are from 2 to 3 years ago.
well, I'm just saying, if you watch them and say there's she's fit to make her own decisions in life, then all right, that's up to you. But
Oh my God.
I
We're
could
5 minutes, like 7 minutes.
Oh,
late.
bye.